So, welcome to whatever episode this is, um, episode 10
Wow,
of season 2.
10 of them.
And it's been 3 weeks since we've done an episode. We were going to do an episode the week before Kayla and Ari went on vacation. Someone had to get his mouth sewn shut for a little bit.
Well, no, nah. I got like a wisdom tooth removed. There were no stitches involved.
I know, but I kept thinking, like, when I address this, I want to make it funny.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, it was excruciating. So, like, went and got it ripped out. Local anesthesia, so didn't get put under. Just like went. I wanted the cheapest option. You know what I
You
mean?
drove home.
Of course.
You drove home on
I drove
under
there and
anesthesia?
home.
You should have heard him.
No,
Oh.
it was
You
local.
should have heard him though on the phone. I would have thought he was drunk.
I just had cotton in my mouth from it was clotting.
I thought usually the drugs.
And my
go in
mouth
you.
was numb. It was a
Oh,
local anesthesia.
It was just your mouth that gets
So
numb.
it was just my mouth. Half my mouth was numb, and I had cotton in there. And yes, it was difficult to talk.
Sorry, but yeah, no. So he had emergency mouth surgery, and
Emergency.
so we got that week out. Then they were on vacation, and now we're back.
We're back.
So we have a lot of news to cover. Huh?
Huh?
Oh yeah.
We're so back.
But yeah, we have so much to cover. I showed him some trailers. He doesn't usually go on the internet that much when it comes to like media wise. So there's a lot of things he doesn't know about. So we showed him trailers for certain movies and TV shows coming out soon.
I don't use a lot of social media stuff, so it's like I just don't encounter a lot of this stuff. Unless I'm looking for it. I mean, not that I never do. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll see something. But
It makes me glad you didn't see any of this yet.
yeah. Very excited. Very excited.
So with that being said, we're going to hit those first. I'm separating everything into categories. And I think that's going to be the best option is to start separating things into categories instead of just going down a list like usual.
With what?
Categories, like so.
With what are we going to hit them?
So we're doing trailers.
You said we were going to hit them first, but what are we hitting them with, Michael?
These damn boots.
Hit them with my Timbs?
Wait, is that... No, it's not steel toe.
No, it's normal toe.
I always wear steel toe
Non-steel.
now.
That's normal toe.
That is...
Yeah, no, that's dirty toe.
Oh,
I got some of Maple's crust in there. But
I don't like where we're at right now. I don't like where we're at in this conversation. All right.
You don't like the gripper talk?
Maple's Crust is her catering business.
Okay, now it just kind of sounds disgusting. Especially when I meant by crust, I meant her poop.
Her catering business.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So Happy Gilmore 2.
Happy Gilmore 2.
That has come. I just realized. Tell me what you thought of the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2, the first full trailer, because I did not look up the release date.
Honestly, not bad. I mean, I liked Happy Gilmore 1. I don't know if I needed Happy Gilmore 2, but I'll watch it. We'll see how it is. Could be fun. We talked about this a little bit. I'm not really sure when when the last time I saw like a really good Adam Sandler movie was. You know what I mean? Because there's been some stuff that Adam Sandler's done in the past, however many years that I just haven't been that much of a fan of. Like, they just didn't seem that great.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there was a time in my life when, there were some really great Adam Sandler movies coming out. We talked about a little bit of those as well. Like Click, obviously earlier ones like Billy Madison and the original Happy Gilmore, Grown Ups.
Big Daddy.
Stuff like that.
You don't like Big Daddy that much?
It was all right. I don't know.
I barely remember that one.
I don't know if I've even seen that one. To be honest with you. But, is that a new laptop?
So I stepped on my laptop last week.
Hold on. What the hell? I didn't know this. This is my first time hearing about this.
No, I told you because you're actually on the internet.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, I stepped on my laptop.
Okay. How did that happen? Hold on. We're just gonna pause real quick on the thing we were on before because I need to hear about this.
So just to say, this is my sister's laptop. She was nice enough to give it to me because I've been vocal about it. Work part-time job, don't have enough money to really just throw $300 out there. And yeah, it was in my case, and it was dark at night. Didn't see where I was walking. Stepped on it. Didn't even check until the next day, and that's where I was like, oh shit, all my work is on here.
Right.
And to the lady from Best Buy, even though you're not going to be watching this, possibly.
Wait, hold on. Why? It was dark, sure. Why was it on the floor?
Because I wasn't going to sleep with it.
What?
I was going to leave it in my bed. No, it was in my laptop, like that laptop case.
Right.
It was in that.
Right.
So I put it on the floor. Usually I leave it standing up, but for some reason it fell over.
And so you just got out of bed and stepped right on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said
So
the lady.
it's just another add to the shitty year. But no, a lady. I went to Best Buy, take it to Geek Squad, and yeah, I was doing my own research, and they said like, oh, it's gonna be about $200. I was like, you know what? With that kind of money, I'm gonna look at other laptops and see how much it is.
Right.
I'm very vocal about what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything crazy. I don't game on my laptop. Don't do shit. So I tell her, I have a part-time job. I'm looking for something cheap. This is one of the worst. She did her job, but she needs to listen. If you're a sales specialist, you need to listen to the customer. Was this Best Buy at university?
No, different Best Buy.
But no, if you're a sales specialist, you need to listen to the customer because he ain't gonna make a sale this way. She tried to sell me on $700 damn computer, and then she kept going up to $1,000. I'm like, in my brain, I'm thinking, bitch, I just told you I can't spend this much money, and you keep going higher and higher. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Pull it out of my ass? And then she's trying to talk me into a credit card. I'm like, I already learned my lesson from that shit.
I opened the Best Buy credit card.
Yeah.
Which one? The one that's locked to Best Buy, or one you can use anywhere?
No, I went to Best Buy just so I don't use it anywhere.
That's what I should have done.
Honestly.
But
Because they had the two options.
But that's the one.
And then he was with me, and he was like, "Absolutely, you're just financing the computer. Like you're not."
But that's the one. That's the one she was trying to talk me into, and I'm like, I have the one I can use anywhere, and that was a bad idea already.
Right.
I'm not doing it. But yeah, so my sister gave me this because she knew I was stressing out. So far it's been working well, and I've been able to write my stories the way I can. So
Looks like a nice laptop.
it's good for the time being, but my year's really just. There's been no good news this year for me, at least me specifically. Not saying as a group, but just me specifically. I feel like there hasn't been any good news. Then you got cancer and all that shit.
Yeah.
I could just tell you knew I was bullshitting about that. I don't have cancer, maybe.
Probably. You never know.
I mean, that's probably what's right here.
Probably.
More than likely. I already had a benign tumor taken out of my back.
I guess isn't there an age limit to make a wish?
I can't say it. I can't say it out loud because that's kind of rated X.
Oh.
Okay, not rated X. Rated R.
Rated R. How rated R could it be?
No. If anything, it would be to have a cameo in Avengers Doomsday.
Okay.
If I had to be like simple and honest, to be since they're gonna be starting production, have a cameo in Avengers Doomsday.
Nice.
I like it.
What about you? What about your Make-A-Wish Foundation?
What's your Make-A-Wish?
What are you dying from first? Lung cancer?
Pick a disease.
Alcoholism?
AIDS.
AIDS?
Okay.
Wow.
Pick one.
I'm really feeling like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Fancy.
Yeah.
You're one of those fancy cancer patients.
Really aggressive, lymphoma. That's it.
But what's your Make-A-Wish?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's
And then when we turn on her, we're gonna say she's dying from AIDS.
okay. Well, there is that. Um,
And I get to pick a neighborhood.
yeah, apparently, apparently. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. It's maybe. Hmm, I don't know if there's anything that I want that bad. Nothing. Like all the things that I want. Because here's the thing: all the things that I want are things that I want for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like most like new guns. It's like, oh, you got a new gun, but you're dying in a month. That sucks a little bit. But like like new guns, new car. That stuff's cool.
I
I
mean, if
want to
you're,
build my own. Like I want to rebuild a car, like get a nice like classic car and rebuild it, like you restore it.
I mean,
Um,
if you're requesting a gun, wouldn't you want to request like the gun that you would want to shoot yourself with, so that way it can end quicker?
Oh, maybe I could. My make a wish would be like going skydiving and then not pulling the parachute cord.
No, do skydiving right above the apartment complex, so that way, no matter what, every time Kayla comes down, she sees exactly where you were last.
That sounds awful. Actually, that sounds really morbid and terrible.
Does he hate me? Like what?
Um,
I don't know where that came from.
yeah, that's wild. That's so crazy, dog. I would want a cruise around the world.
That's actually really good.
Doesn't that last like a while?
Yeah, like a year or like several months, probably.
That's
know?
actually a good idea because then you can see the world before you die.
Right.
Now you, a girl,
Have AIDS.
or chumbucket girl, whatever you want to say.
Oh!
What?
I mean, isn't that how you should get AIDS?
No.
Anyways,
What?
would you?
Also-
I don't know more about heroin AIDS versus.
AIDS isn't really that deadly anymore.
Well,
Most people
let's say
can
for
live with AIDS.
And I think, and I don't have the sex AIDS. I
Like you
have
met Freddie Mercury.
Heroin AIDS.
I have heroin AIDS.
Dirty needles.
I have dirty needle AIDS. Very aggressive.
I would just say,
I wanted
I
first.
would just say she met Freddie Mercury and that's it.
Yeah, but
Shook his
shared
hand.
a needle. We didn't have sex. Maybe. Maybe we didn't.
I mean, he was still
Wild
experimenting.
night in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a wish now.
I mean, his
Still
teeth.
have the AIDS.
I mean, his teeth was probably as big as his.
I got the AIDS in the 80s. I'm trying to make the story from the dirty needle. I've lasted this long, but
Wait, are you making a whole story out of this?
For real.
What's your make a wish? What do you want to do before you die?
I want to walk in a fashion show, but like a good one, like a Christian Dior, like well, I guess not Christian Dior, but like a Gucci or something.
I mean, if she's dying of heroin AIDS, I mean that's a good way to
Oh
go.
yeah, I
at
have
it.
the heroin cheap.
I thought of a better one.
Mine was pretty.
Spend a day with the Kardashians.
Not better than yours. Not better than yours. Better than my last one. I want to perform for a sold-out show at Madison Square Garden.
Heck yeah.
Ooh, that would be big.
Cancer patient.
Yeah, tough marketing, but
The musician.
maybe I would do a show with a well-known artist to make it happen. Or
Jonas
something.
Brothers.
Well, I mean,
Actors do that.
that's a choice. I like the Jonas Brothers. I don't know if I'm not that sure that would be my first choice for performing. Chris Stapleton
I knew you were gonna say Chris.
or Coulter Wall.
That's
But
pretty
yeah,
good.
or Chris Stapleton. Oh, like, honestly, doing a show with Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton could sell out.
Oh,
The other
man.
guy. So okay, Chris Stapleton.
He's
Damn.
getting big. I mean, Coulter Wall's becoming well
she just threw
known.
him under the bus.
Oh God, Jesus. We love you, Coulter. Don't listen to her.
Anyways, so Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay, back to the matter at hand. We
That was a good topic,
that was a good topic. Back to the matter at hand. I don't know how we went from broken laptop to Make a Wish, but
Oh, no, you noticed it. That's all. Oh, how you went from broken laptop to Make a Wish.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Now I think about it. I don't
Well, we
even
have
know
it
how-
recorded. We can figure it out later. That doesn't matter.
though.
It's you know, It's well here. Here's the thing though.
The friends we made along
It's the maybe the laptop was the friends we made along the way.
Oh my god.
the way.
Um,
Make-A-Wish patients.
maybe the Make-A-Wish was the friends we made along the way. No, because so everybody's like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But if you don't remember the journey, then what was it about?
The Make-A-Wish.
The
Nothing.
drinking.
My alcoholism.
Alcoholism. But then it's about nothing. You don't remember your journey, and you didn't get to your destination.
You,
So
you ever heard that line?
That fucking hammer.
Wait, you
Hell
ever,
yeah.
you ever heard that line Keanu Reeves said on the Drew Barrymore show?
no,
Took him a long time.
Yeah, that was.
I was checking my files. That one is absent. But maybe,
When you're checking your files, do you picture that scene from SpongeBob where all the SpongeBobs are running through the brain, looking through the files?
Yeah. We don't have a name.
What episode was that?
I can't even remember. Look, I don't remember the episode. All right, all I know is fine dining and breathing. Okay.
So this is what he said. And the reason why I'm showing this is because of what you said reminded me of that.
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
I don't know, because if you're a lover, you gotta be a fighter.
How so?
Because if you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? No,
I thought he was gonna say something about like that.
No, Keanu is
No,
very...
he's a very sweet and PG person.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Keanu Reeves?
Keanu
I thought it
Reeves.
was just like Andy Cohen.
No,
No, it's
What?
Keanu Reeves. He's a very, like very respectful person.
Maybe the Keanu Reeves is the drinks we drank along the way. You know what
I mean, he looks like he drinks a lot.
He probably doesn't. He probably doesn't. He's probably sober, I swear to God. Just looks like somebody who drinks a lot. The scruffy beard and the long hair.
Also, random,
Cover hard.
but I watched the Gex trailer again. You've heard of Gex, right?
Like geckos?
No, well, yes, Gex the gecko from the video games.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this. I don't know how I didn't know this, but I guess he referenced John Wick during
That's
his intro,
fantastic.
saying, "Yeah, I guess I'm back."
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
But Happy Gilmore 2, I don't have much to say. I mean, the trailer didn't do much for me. I feel like I
Yeah.
gotta see a better trailer.
Yeah, honestly, I could take it or leave it, but I'll probably watch it.
And it comes out in July.
Jelly.
Yeah, Jalalo. Don't know where my word just came out of that. And Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
We showed you the
Looks
trailer.
pretty good, honestly.
Honestly, I love how Stitch looks.
He looks great.
I love how Lilo looks. I think she looks like an adorable kid. You're taking that dirty, aren't you?
That was an out-of-pocket thing to say.
Everyone's
you
saying
kind
she
of
looks
corrected it. You're
adorable.
like, she's adorable. You fixed it, but it was like at first it's like, I love how Lilo looks.
Well, she
You know
just-
that meme where you get the question mark sound, that boing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about. I think the sound you're talking about is the Metal Gear Solid sound when you get
Yes, yes.
spotted.
Not
That
to be
would
confused with the sound when
You need
Sna-
to show her
when
that sound. if
Snake
she,
dies.
You need to show her that sound
Snake?
if she does a video for that. You need to show her that sound if she does a video for that.
Okay, absolutely.
But yeah, everything looks good. Apparently, the controversy though is, like you mentioned at the end of the trailer, the guy with the snow cone. He's supposed to be a white tourist, which was like a whole big thing about the original movie.
Oh, is that a thing that people are talking about?
Yeah.
I just
Well,
noticed
not
that.
just
Like
him.
it was like I was like, oh, I thought that was a white tourist that got like it was a fat white tourist with sunburn.
Well, people are
That.
making it. Well, people are making a big
Tourist
deal.
who dropped ice cream, not a snow cone.
Forrest.
That's the big issue. It's like he dropped
Was it
his snow
ice cream?
cone, and it was ice cream. In the original, it was ice cream. It was like mint chocolate ice cream.
Where's my phone?
Say that.
Tourist.
How do you say it?
Forrest.
Yeah, tourist.
I feel like both ways are. Correct.
I feel like we're saying the same thing here.
Forrest.
Tourist.
When you say it, I'm thinking of a turtle in the sea.
What?
He's a tourist.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, it is ice cream.
Yes, I told you.
Mint chocolate ice cream. To be
I
precise.
literally just said that, Michael.
No, I thought it was a snow cone at first.
I literally just said mint chocolate ice cream is what he kept dropping.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
That's my bad. But yeah, no, that's part of the controversy because that was Lilo's whole thing is that she was like doing a commentary on how tourists were basically like constantly coming to Hawaii and all that.
Right.
So that's something that is a concern for people. But also the
They're
whole
so
Pleakley,
quick to get rid of all the white people.
the Pleakley situation.
What about Pleakley?
The fact that he's
Agent
not in
Pleakley.
drag.
The fact that he's not in drag.
Yeah, because Pleakley was always known to dress like a woman.
He did dress up like a woman a lot for those missions, but we also didn't see that many scenes with Pleakley in him.
We didn't. But
You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean they're not there. It just means it wasn't in the trailer.
He's a trans icon. He was trans before it was cool.
But that's the thing. What? I feel like I just got hit with a boomerang.
Okay, Boomer.
Not what?
Jojo Siwa?
No, don't mention that devil name. But no, there's
The
a lot of
weird
controversy
headbanging.
on that because people want him to dress in drag, and the fact that they're not dressed up in like costumes stupidly. But I'm like, that worked better for the cartoon, not live action. That wouldn't work as well.
I mean, yeah, but even I also, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not there just because you didn't see it in the trailer. Like the trailer's not supposed to have every moment in the movie.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it would be the movie and not a trailer.
exactly.
Like, you didn't see everything in there. There's every possibility that they have a scene with him dressing up. Every possibility that it's there. Like,
Well,
you know,
considering his identity was revealed at that, I feel like maybe that's going to make him turn his hologram into like.
maybe this is a hot take. I think that trailers should be judged on the contents within and not the contents without. You know what I'm saying?
That's how.
Like, a trailer should be judged on what's in it, not on what's missing from it. Because
Because then
most
people
of the
let
movie
that-
is going to be missing from it.
Yeah, because people let that guide them through the movie.
Right. You don't need a trailer that tells you every step the movie's going to take. If the trailer tells you everything about the movie, including the ending, then you might as well just not watch the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe just wait. Maybe just wait and watch it.
And then
You know what I mean? But like I'm saying, you can't be mad about something that's not in the trailer just because, like I said, I mean, you don't know if it's going to be in the movie or not. You have no
Exactly.
clue.
Exactly, and that's why.
Judge the trailer based on what's in it.
Yeah, and plus the actor who's playing Pleakley in that, he looks like he's going to act very flamboyant, which I feel like is very on cue for Pleakley.
Right.
And Zach Galifianakis, how do you pronounce his last name? Because
That
it's always a
sounds about right.
mouthful. He's playing Jumbo.
That doesn't sound right at all.
It doesn't, especially since he's not as fat as he used to be.
Also, I mean, he was very, very fat. No, that's a running joke. A lot of people make that joke on Between Two Ferns, his little talk show, about how fat he is.
No, I'm just trying to keep my inner thoughts
No,
locked up.
I
into what
just
she
don't
said.
feel like his voice matches up with Jumba very well. That's the thing. It's like I don't think that he sounds like Jumba.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm.
Jumbo doesn't have this distinct.
He has like a
He's a very distinct, almost Russian-ish voice.
Russian-esque accent.
Yeah, like a deep Russian man's voice, and Zach Galifianakis doesn't sound
I
like
used
that
to-
at all.
If I could think of a line, I could do Jumba's impression pretty good, but I can't think of it right off the bat.
I remember, like, what was that scene? Like, we're supposed to trust you just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Fight.
Jumbo was always one of my favorites, especially that scene where they're like playing a hot potato in the house. He's
Yeah.
like, Merry Christmas.
With the gun. I actually really love that scene. Oh,
But
it's been a while.
There is one character.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
There's one character that I'm personally very skeptical. Like if he's not in the movie, I'm gonna be pissed, and it might drop a couple points until I calm down from the movie if he's not in it.
Who?
Captain Gantu.
If he's got to be. That's like a big plot point.
Some-
He was a big driver of the plot.
Some reports say he's in it, but I need to see him. I want to see Captain Gantu.
Captain Gantu.
Oh, and for people who don't know, Nani
Nani.
is also going under controversy because they
She's
are
not
saying
thick.
no. It's your favorite thing to talk about.
Oh,
They hate the fact she's white.
she wasn't white though.
No, they actually tanned her. Like I don't know if it's because of the sun or anything like that, but people are saying that they tanned her up for the trailer.
Oh. wait, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I read something about this like months ago. Isn't this actress actually
She's born in
of
Hawaii.
Hawaiian heritage?
Yeah, she's born in Hawaii. but
She's
she
a native
But she
Hawaiian.
was raised in California. That's how her story goes.
So, but she is a native Hawaiian though. Like I don't.
Technically, yeah. She
So
is,
what?
She is native Hawaiian.
She's not dark enough. Like you get to be the arbiter and the judge of whether she's worthy to play a Hawaiian character when she is Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Like who says you get to decide that?
And
She's not dark enough. Like not all islanders are that dark, dog. Like maybe just step off. She's already Hawaiian. Like let her be.
And someone
Like
on TikTok,
that's actually nuts, dude.
yeah, and someone on TikTok, he was actually defending her, saying like, and he's Hispanic, so he's like, I'm white as a fucking ghost. You would confuse me for white, but if I go in the sun, I'll look like exactly the skin color you would expect me to be.
Right.
I can't think of his name, but he's a pretty well-known TikToker. But yeah, she's under controversy for that. But so far, everyone's loving the trailer, and apparently, it
That's
was
nuts.
originally supposed to be a Disney Plus movie. But I guess they had screen testings, and it did so well, they feel confident enough to put it in theaters.
Well, that's good. I think they should.
This
For
would be the
one?
first the first good live action remake they've done in a while.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited for it. I think it'll be good.
We're going to Disney Springs to go see that. That's all. That's based on your guys' schedule.
When is that coming out?
May.
May. It's gonna be May.
I think it comes out May 16th, right before Final Destination Bloodlines,
Okay.
which
Very
that comes
cool.
out May 23rd, I think.
The day after my
Birthday.
birth. Since birth.
Speaking of, the other trailer we saw is the first full-length trailer of Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah, we saw a lot of trailers.
We saw 4. 5.
I'm excited for it. I think it could be good.
The theory, I think.
I kind of like the premise.
Well, wait until I tell you what the theory is that I think is going to be the revelation of this movie that I think holds a lot of merit to it.
Okay.
So in the trailer, they showed a book that showed the airplane and the truck with the logs from
Right.
the other 2 movies.
Yeah.
The theory is that this is focusing on one family, but it's called Bloodlines. The theory is that since it's Bloodlines and it's going to follow different families, they're going to reveal that every Final Destination movie, their family heritage goes up to that moment in the skyscraper. So all the movies are connected to that one moment.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that would make it even crazier.
One
than
common
the-
ancestor. And that's why all these descendants end up having visions, because they have the bloodline trait of being able to have those visions
Exactly.
of death. That'd be cool. That'd be a really cool tie-in.
It'd be a crazy twist compared to the Final Destination 6 twist.
Final Destination 6 twist.
Where,
Hold on.
no, did I say 6? I meant 5.
5. I was okay. Yeah, I was about to say, was there a 6?
I keep forgetting there was no 6th movie, and this is the 6th movie, where you find out it's actually a prequel to the first movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like set right before the first movie and ends when they're about to get on the plane.
Yeah. Oh, and this is Tony Todd's last appearance, and he specifically wanted to do this film so badly because they want to dive into his character's backstory.
Yeah.
So
I mean, talk about irony. Like his last major motion picture, and then he dies. That's crazy.
yeah, but I think this is going to be easily in the top. I can't even say top 3 yet, but I feel like this is definitely going to be like a contender for top 3 of the Final Destination films.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Kind of want to watch the first 5 movies again.
Oh, I definitely at least want to watch the first 3 movies, mainly because they're the
yeah.
best ones.
The first 3 are good. I didn't mind 4, and I kind of liked 5. You know.
Wasn't 5 the one with the theater?
I feel like it's been so long. I'm
Because
trying to
5,
remember
I think they
which
tried to
one's
do
which.
3D.
I remember how I felt about each movie, but I can't remember all the details. Yes, they did try to do 3D for 5, I believe.
Yeah, and 4 was the NASCAR incident. 5 was the bridge.
Right.
Yeah,
I think.
that's how it was. Because the guy who played Harvey Dent
See,
in Gotham
I gotta
City.
go. I gotta go and watch the movies again, so that I know, so that I can remember.
So going from that,
Death comes for us all.
and speaking of death, Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. Okay, so I saw that. Yeah, the trailer for the Netflix series that's coming out.
Coming out April 3rd, which is this week, actually.
Yeah, actually, could
And
be,
it's from
could
the
be
same...
fun.
I think it will be.
Could be fun.
It's from the same animators as the guys who did Castlevania.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be cool. It looks good. You know, I can see a couple of the twists that they want to put in there. I mean, with excuse me. Obviously the new villain, which is the rabbit guy, and then his brother showing up. That should be fun.
And Lady.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of Devil May Cry, Evanescence made a new song for Devil May Cry. Limp Bizkit is going to be doing the intro for it. And apparently...
Papa Roach.
I hope we hear that song.
I hope we hear
during the
that in
show.
there. I honestly liked the little Papa Roach remix for the trailer.
That was a sick remix.
It was.
But there's a voice actor that I found out is actually going to be in the show that kind of took me back. And I'm wondering when his final role is actually going to be revealed. Kevin Conroy.
Oh, really?
He's going to be in the show as an original character set for the anime.
Okay. I like it when they do stuff like that because it makes it feel fresh. Kind of the same way. I started playing Dead Space recently.
Oh, for the first time?
Yeah, the Dead Space remake.
Like
First time ever. Never played it. Never played
Never
Dead
played the
Space.
series?
Nope. First time playing the series.
Oh my god.
So I started playing the Dead Space remake, and I was sharing this first time experience with my friend Jalen, who it's one of his favorite games of all time. But he's never played the remake either.
Yeah.
He played the original, right? And so like it was one of the things we talked about as I was playing was that I really like. He really liked what they did with the remake was that they made it fresh. Like they made it so that even the people who played the game before couldn't expect everything that was going to happen because they changed certain things.
Yeah.
You know, like the kinesis. Like I for that one first puzzle when you have to stop the arm on the tram when you're fixing the tram.
Yes.
You use the freezing. What was that? The stasis.
Yeah, the stasis.
On it instead of kinesis like you did in the original game. Because in the original game you use kinesis to go and connect it, and by that point you already have kinesis. But in this version of the game you don't have kinesis yet, so you have to use the stasis, which he thought was a really cool change. But it's just like one of those things that really reinforced that idea that you really couldn't expect it to be exactly the same as the
Well,
original.
not just that, the open world.
Yeah. A lot more open, like, you know, a lot more like going and backtracking, and like you can go and look around and stuff. So yeah, definitely a cool remake, and I like the way they did it, and I appreciate that kind of intentionality when it comes to remakes and doing things where you still do your best to make it a fresh experience for those who have engaged with it before.
Now, since Jalen probably doesn't know anything that happens in the remake, if you're playing it with him to have him watch you, play the side quest.
Okay.
They added side stories to it. It's well worth it.
Heck yeah.
There's even a Nicole side quest.
Nice. Okay. Very, very nice. I'm excited for it. I've been enjoying playing it. It was a little freaky at first. I don't play a whole lot of horror games, but you kind of get used to it. You know, like after a minute, it was like, oh, another one of these aliens showed up. Pop, 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 pop.
No, once you get to me,
Lasered his arm
to me, the
off.
necromorphs get very.
Necromorph.
You get used to them,
Yeah.
but then
New versions of them. show
No,
up,
something happens later on where you experience something a lot more ferocious.
Yeah. Well, you do already experience a little bit of that even early in the game.
Oh,
like
no.
those worm things that
Compared,
slither on the ground.
you'll know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure.
It's much later in the game on the Ishimura.
Right. So,
But
not
man,
excited
that
for
game was traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I say traumatizing because when I played Dead Space 2, in Dead Space 2, you have to revisit the Ishimura. And for some reason, it was like PTSD. And a lot of people felt like PTSD going through it.
I bet. So,
But
very excited, I guess, for this experience.
yeah, it's going to be a great experience for you.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to play it by myself. I'm going to have to make sure somebody's here with me.
Oh, Kayla
It's
can watch
scary.
it. Kayla can watch it with you.
Yeah.
It is actually one of the scariest games.
I don't know. I feel like it's less scary when you can fight back. You know? With games like Outlast, where you can't fight back.
Outlast is scary because you can't fight back.
You can't. You have to run and hide. Like with this one, at least you can fight back. Games like Dead Space and Resident Evil, like where you get to fight back, I feel like they're fundamentally less scary
Yeah.
than games like Outlast, where you can't. Although, honestly, I can see that even like I'm playing Dead Space and I feel like it like very much impacted the industry. Like I've never experienced this game series before, but I can already tell that it's really impacted the gaming industry. Like you remember playing Alien Isolation, like and I was like, wow, like I can see that Alien Isolation took so much inspiration from Dead Space.
Well, not just that. I think,
So much.
I think Dead Space is also the reason why Resident Evil started finally letting their characters walk and aim at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I mean, but that was the thing though, like because like if you've ever played, Alien Isolation?
I tried to recently, and it was really slow. It was too slow for me.
It's only slow at first. It really does pick up because
No, I mean the controls.
yeah, well,
I felt like I had a lot of weight in my pants.
yeah, well that's the thing. I mean that you are slow in that game. You are heavy. You're wearing like a spacesuit. You're like you've got a bunch of gear, and you don't walk or move very quickly in that game, and that's the whole thing. Like that's why it's always so terrifying because the xenomorphs move so quick. They move so quick. But yeah, no.
That's a nasty taste.
But it really was reminiscent. I mean,
and coffee and Pepsi.
the way that you move, like the save stations and everything like that, like the whole thing, almost like, there was so much inspiration that seemed to be taken for Alien Isolation from games like Dead Space. Dead Space seems to have really impacted the industry of the horror games in a very positive way, I think.
It really did.
And so it's really cool to kind of see that, because I had never played Dead Space before. So for me, it was a fresh comparison because I've played, Alien Isolation.
Well, the good thing is once you're done, I know for a fact Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3 is on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to get to play those as well. So yeah, I'm very excited. Honestly, very cool. It's only more recently in life that I branched off into this area, this genre of video games, and I'm kind of starting. I do appreciate the craftsmanship and care that's put into them, even if they are really creepy. And it's not usually my jam, but I'm trying to branch out and widen my horizons on that stuff. And I think I'm really appreciating and enjoying it. So cool stuff.
Once you get through all that, there's one game series I think you should try.
What's that?
The Evil Within.
Okay. Cool.
It's like a mixture of, like the first one's a mixture of, actually really both of them are like a mixture of Resident Evil and Silent Hill. And plus the original one, I think Evil Within 2, but the original one is definitely from the original creator of Resident Evil.
Right. Speaking of video games, I did also, what was it? I think at the beginning of this last week, I finished playing God of War. The 2018 God of War.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
On the PC, by the way.
I immediately wanted to buy the second one, but I was like, I just couldn't justify dropping $60 right in that moment because I'm still.
I'm surprised that's not on sale right now.
It was on sale. It was on sale, but I only got the God of War 2018. That one was on sale for like $20, so I was like, I bought it.
But I figured God of War Ragnarok would be like $40 at this point.
No. It's not on sale anymore, and it is back to full price, so it is $60. And I was like, I'm just gonna have to wait. I couldn't justify spending that money at that moment because
But once you play that one, I
a
cannot
bit
wait
low
to ask you.
on funds.
Yeah.
But I want to play that, and I want to play the DLC for it because that's the one thing that I'm actually kind of excited to experience for myself because I've seen playthroughs of the 2018 God of War and God of War Ragnarok, but I've not watched any playthroughs of the DLC.
So I haven't even finished the DLC because it's one of those It's one of those kind of gameplays I'm not particularly fond of. I'll play it, but if I can't get through it, I'm just not gonna bother.
Right? Why is that?
It's a roguelike. So it's like, say, Dead Cells or Returnal, where every time you die, you have to get new weapons, or Hades. Every time you die, you start at the beginning. You have to get new weapons, new upgrades, and all that kind of stuff. Basically, you have to keep leveling up until you get to a certain point in that little DLC.
Interesting.
And roguelikes, I don't mind them, but eventually I get tired of them because it's like, this one thing's just constantly pissing me off.
So they completely kind of changed up the game style for the DLC.
There's a reason for it. It's like a trial for Kratos, and that I won't get too much into it. I've already seen the spoilers.
Yeah, no, I want to. Yeah, no, I don't want to spoil it because I'm going to play that for myself.
Yeah, but it is a trial.
Okay.
That's basically the purpose of it. So it's like, yes, it's a new gameplay mechanic for God of War, but there's a purpose for it instead of just random.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, and there's some story aspects to it as well.
Yeah. No, I've seen. That's the thing that I did see the one clip. I did see one clip of where he was looking at his younger self, and he was just so like dissatisfied with how immature and how destructive he was when he was younger.
Ooh, you just reminded me of something.
So, but like him, like talking to himself. His younger self couldn't hear him, but like it was like him like squaring with his past and the atrocities that he committed in the name of revenge. So like I did see a little clip of that, and I was like, okay, I got to play this DLC. But first I got to play the games. So I finally did get the first one. Really loved it. I did know what the story was going to be. I'd seen it before, I'm not going to lie. But I honestly, even though I've seen playthroughs of the game, because I've never had a PlayStation, so all of this is because I can now play games on Steam. That's why I'm able to play these PlayStation games now, whereas before I could only just watch playthroughs. And I didn't know if I would ever play the game, so I watched the playthroughs and stuff, of people playing it, like Jacksepticeye, stuff like that. But now, even though I knew what the story was going to be, I still thoroughly enjoyed the experience of playing it myself. And I look forward to playing God of War Ragnarok. So
Nice.
yeah, very much. Yeah, like 10, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, good experience.
It really is a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, really great experience. Really, really enjoyed it.
Now, I'm just going to tell you right now. So you've seen gameplay of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So because of some of the story bits, like there's one specific one with Atreus, to me that's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
That 8.5 maybe. That one story bit really killed it for me.
No.
Yeah.
In Ragnarok?
In Ragnarok.
Which story bit are we?
With Atreus when he that's the thing, I don't know how much I can say.
I mean, if it's not the DLC, I've seen.
No, it's not.
else.
No, Atreus isn't in the DLC.
No, yeah, I've seen everything else.
The one where he finally meets up with the girl in the different realm.
Oh yeah, Angraboda.
Yeah, that entire part is. Everyone says that's the worst part for them because it drags.
It does drag a bit. It is lore accurate.
It is. Yeah, I can understand.
Like
it's lore
Angraboda
accurate.
is Loki's wife, in the lore. Still very, I can understand that. Even watching it, yeah, it was a bit of a drag.
Yeah.
Honestly, like.
And the girl I had no
That's
problem
something
with.
that's probably the part of the game that I look least forward to. Not just him going to see Angraboda, but the Atreus parts of Ragnarok. I feel like will be my least favorite parts. Nothing against Atreus, love him, and I love that. I like the story in the game. It makes sense, seeing that part of the story, and there are interesting parts like when he's with Thor and all of the parallels. They both have giant. They both have difficult fathers. Like they have a lot in common. I really did like a lot of that stuff, but for me, being Kratos is the best part of the game.
It really is.
Being Kratos is so awesome. And while I did enjoy the story parts where you're Atreus, even just watching the playthrough, I did enjoy the bits of the story that involved that, because I think there were some good and interesting and important storylines happening there.
Yeah.
It just, for me, being Atreus just doesn't measure up to being Kratos. You don't feel as powerful, you don't feel as awesome, you don't feel as strong and unstoppable.
Actually, eventually, Atreus becomes really fun to play as.
Yeah, I could feel that,
And I think that's
watching it. Like, I think, and I do agree, but like, I still think for me, I just don't think that it will. Like, I could be wrong. Maybe I'll be very pleasantly surprised, but for me, I feel like being Kratos, especially, I mean, you get a new weapon and all this stuff. Like, it's just.
Oh, like the Chaos Blades.
Well, yeah, not just the Chaos Blades. I mean, that happened in the first game. But the new spear and everything like that. Like.
Oh yeah, the spear.
Yeah, like spear. I just think that. Honestly, like I just loved playing in the 2018. I loved being Kratos. I just loved every second of being the Kratos, God of War, destroyer of entire pantheons. Like, he just is such a cool and interesting character, and very. It's like a power trip being him. You know what I mean?
Really is.
It really is a power trip. You're like, nothing can stop me. Nothing.
And it's always a good power trip when you trigger Spartan Rage.
Like, it was all these funny moments, like, and I love it because, like, And it's good. It's good for people who like know the lore or have played the previous games and stuff like that. Like with Atreus, like I love all those funny little moments between him and Atreus.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of good ones in Ragnarok where he's like, or actually even in the first one, like I remember there was this moment where he like Atreus was like, "Can you fight something that big?" And I'm like,
I fought.
he's Kratos. Of course he can fight something that big. Or in Ragnarok, which I know it was one of the lines that when I was watching it just stuck with me because I thought it was so funny. It was like when they were in the boat, him, Kratos, and Mimir, like Atreus, Kratos, and Mimir, and
oh, I love Mimir.
and Atreus was like, "So when am I gonna start looking like you?" He was like, "Look like me," like having all like the big muscles and everything. He was like, "When will I have big muscles like yours?" When you work for them. Like, and Mimir's like, "I think what he means, lad, is that you'll have the strength of a god, but if you want the physique of one, you'll start having to pick up heavy things and sitting them back down." Like,
I forgot about. Well, I didn't forget about what
because he
Mimir
thought he
said,
was
but
just
that's
gonna
pretty
like
funny.
magically have godly muscles, and his dad's like, "No, you gotta work for that."
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, Kratos was the leader of the Spartans.
Yeah, no, he absolutely did work for his physique. So, anyway, going on this God of War tangent. Really enjoyed the game. I'm very, very much looking forward to the second one.
I can't wait to hear what you think about that one.
Oh, dude, I can't
But,
wait. Can't wait.
Last thing about Devil May Cry, real quick.
Yes.
The voice actor of Nero from the Devil May Cry games, who's
Right.
also the Black Ranger in Power Rangers, and the voice actor of Ichigo in Bleach.
Yes.
He's actually the one voicing Dante.
Okay.
Which makes sense because he has a younger voice compared to the voice actor of Dante in the games.
Right.
But it's kind of funny when you read the comments about the fact that he's voicing Dante now. It's like, man, he really wants to cosplay his uncle right now.
Right. I don't know why this popped into my head, but the voice actor for Naruto, the English dub.
Yeah.
Now imagine that voice actor playing Dante. That's cursed, isn't it? That just popped into my head.
I don't want to imagine that anymore. Speaking of cursed.
But it'll never go away now.
Yeah. Actually, no, I'm not going to get right into that because that's going to be on part of the TV show category. But we are going to talk about the Powerpuff Girl League.
Oh, yeah, the Powerpuff
We're going to
Girl.
talk about that once I get to
The
TV
show that
shows.
never was.
Yeah. But we're going to get to Marvel news. So, we're going to start with the biggest news that happened this week. Big Avengers Doomsday cast announcements.
Marvelous.
Have you seen it?
I've not.
So, if you had seen it, you'd be sitting...
It's okay.
What?
Her shirt was pulling up. No, but it was getting close.
The Doomsday
To
cast...
see that content, subscribe to the pantry.
Oh my god. But no, if you had seen the announcement when it was going live, you'd probably be sitting down for about 8-9 hours
Right.
because a lot of people did not. So if you didn't hear what it was,
Okay.
basically they were revealing the cast members of Avengers Doomsday
Okay.
by showing their chairs
Oh.
with music playing in the background, and apparently that lasted for hours. People were like, "Wow, this is like we're literally just spending 20 minutes looking at a name before they switch it again."
Wow.
So there's a lot of different things I can say about it. I will say it does spoil a little bit about Thunderbolts
Okay.
because you do know certain characters are going to live long enough to be in Doomsday.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who.
Probably the Russian Captain America. Like, why am I spacing on his name? I don't
Red
know.
Guardian,
Red Guardian. I bet he's going to be one that dies.
David Harbour.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wouldn't look it up because I was actually kind of annoyed that I saw all that.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't annoyed seeing the other casting announcements, but that specifically, I was like, that's not really smart on your part. But the big announcement is the X-Men.
Okay.
Kelsey Grammer was announced first because we saw him as the Beast in the Marvels.
Okay, good.
Patrick Stewart's coming back.
All right.
Ian McKellen is coming back as Magneto.
Right.
Alan Cummings is coming back as Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Rebecca Romaine,
Okay. Oh, I just
Mystique.
had a shiver. Whew, that was a weird shiver.
When I said Rebecca Romaine?
No, it was just because I had like a weird cold shiver.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
But Rebecca Romaine is coming back as Mystique.
Okay.
Channing Tatum coming back as Gambit.
Hey! We knew that was happening. We knew that was coming. They had to. They absolutely had to. And he's gonna all be like comic accurate costumes now.
God, I hope so.
Like, because if he's not in the same costume that he was in Deadpool, I don't want it.
He should be.
Gotta be.
Honestly, I feel like that's going to be the only time they can actually be accurate to the costumes finally.
Gotta be.
Everyone in the Fantastic Four is coming back, obviously.
Obviously.
Thor. I'm just going to go down this list of most of the actors. Like I said, I'm not touching anything involving Thunderbolts. Shuri from Black Panther is going to come back.
Oh, joy.
Bucky Barnes.
Heck yeah.
Ant-Man.
All right.
Namor.
Oh, not bad.
Shang-Chi.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that.
The new Falcon.
Oh, yeah. the
M'Baku.
kid. Oh, they're going to have M'Baku?
Mm-hmm. He's coming back.
Very nice.
And then...
What is that actor's name?
Winston Duke.
Winston Duke. I like him.
Honestly, if I ever meet him...
So we're going to have M'Baku?
I feel like I would want to give him a hug.
He seems like a... He just seems
He
like
seems
a
like
great
the nicest.
guy. He does seem like a great guy.
He seems so fucking nice. And then this character, I was shocked to see he's coming back because everyone was wondering if his story ended in season 2.
Right.
Loki.
Okay.
Tom Hiddleston is coming back.
Tom Hiddleston's coming back as Loki.
Mm-hmm. In some capacity, we don't know fully yet.
I'm feeling that.
And then the last one so far for the X-Men that's coming back, James Marsden as Cyclops.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now, that's mostly everyone that was announced for the casting. Obviously, Victor Von Doom was also announced. But Robert Downey Jr. commented on the Instagram and said, "Wow, that's a lot of chairs." Marvel responded with, "There's always room for more." So that's not everybody. I'm feeling like this is mostly going to be the main cast with side characters coming in. Mm-hmm. No idea about Spider-Man. Personally, I don't want him involved with Doomsday. I feel like they should save him for Secret Wars because I want his film to be grounded. Mm-hmm. No multiverse crap. Not for right now, at least.
Right.
The Incredible Hulks. Hulk, She-Hulk haven't been announced yet.
God.
But I feel like they got to be part of Secret Wars eventually. And some other heroes like Miss Marvel, Hawk Girl, not Hawk Girl.
Hot Girl. Wrong comic.
Kate Bishop. I'm just going to say Kate Bishop. Hawkeye also wasn't announced.
Kate Bishop.
So there's a couple of heroes that haven't been announced, but they might be announced later on.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's the casting announcements.
Okay.
Iron Man's death is apparently part of Doom's story. That's what the Russo brothers said. Which I can kind of see what they're referring to because the fact that he's going to have Tony Stark's face, I feel like that's going to cause a lot of issues amongst the mainline Avengers and heroes that already know who Tony Stark is. And that's basically it for the Avengers. Now on to what we think so far of Daredevil Born Again from what we've seen.
Yeah, I only saw the first 2 episodes so far.
I've seen the first 3.
I like it. I don't like... I've heard through the grapevine.
Me.
Birdie told me. That we're not going to see him suit up again. Other than that first, flashback scene in the first episode.
Yeah.
We're not going to see him suit up again until, episode 6, which sucks.
Yeah, which actually is out already.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But, come on.
Honestly, I don't mind it because of the development, but there's something about it that actually does piss me off. And that is the fact that, based on reports, Daredevil went through a whole restart because Kevin Feige was pissed, and apparently the report said that Daredevil didn't suit up until episode 4. Not mentioning anything about episode 1. He didn't suit up till episode 4. So if the reports are true,
right?
Why the
why did that change?
Did the past episode not exist at one point?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, why was it episode 4 and now it's episode 6 that we don't see him suit up?
That's weird.
It just makes no sense to me. It's kind of confusing, and there's only like 9 episodes,
Right.
so we're gonna see him suit up for like the last 4 episodes.
Yeah, this whole season seems like it's going to be like one big setup for the rest of the show. You know.
Oh, and the Punisher came back in episode 5.
And I know they've spoken on like the developments that are going to be happening, like with Kingpin. I know they said he's going to start off really small, and that he's going to actually be even bigger than in the original one.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, but I don't know if that means by the end of the season or if that means by the end of the show, which I'm imagining is more what they mean. I think that this whole first season feels like a big setup for the next season.
Which I should have added that. Now, leaked set photos have been coming out of Daredevil season 2, or Daredevil Disney Plus season 2.
Right.
And it's up to you if you want to see it, but what his costume looks like in Daredevil season 2, it's hard to say if it's legit because it looks a little too perfect.
Right.
So I can't tell if it's Photoshop, but people are constantly sharing it, and it looks like it's legit.
All right, let's see.
And it has something on it that everyone's been waiting for a long time. See if I can get a clear photo. The double D's.
The double D's. Okay. A black suit. Interesting.
I mean, this is kind of a bad photo to show because of the face, but... But yeah, it looks like he's going to get his double D's finally.
Wow. We all needed these double D's.
Every man.
We knew they belonged. We knew that these double D's belonged on his chest. You know, it's
as long as a man has double D's to look at, then we're all good.
like, you know, honestly, like, you know, and I wonder what it's like. I wonder if they're heavy. You know.
Oh, that cracked my neck. But yeah, he's gonna have his double D's apparently.
Well, Daredevil's double D's.
And Charlie Cox kind of hinted at it because he was in an interview for season 1. He's like, the guy asked him, "So when are we gonna see you actually have some double D's on you?" And he started laughing. He's like, "No comment." So I was like, "Okay, we're getting him soon." But it looks like we're getting him in season 2.
Probably. Okay.
But just in case, I would not look up any season 2 other set photos because there's posters that might be spoiling the end of season 1. So,
very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very good.
Sadie Sink from Stranger Things has been cast in Spider-Man 4 in an undisclosed role.
Wow.
And people are being racist.
Who's this person? I actually don't know.
Have you seen Stranger Things?
Not a lot of it.
I'm still shocked about that.
So she's the redhead. You've definitely heard the meme. The song. What's the song? Kayla. I feel like you know the song.
What is it?
And if I only could.
Yeah.
I make a deal with God.
Yeah.
Song that went viral.
The girl who's floating up in the air. That's Sadie Sink.
Okay, so this is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's playing
Undisclosed.
an undisclosed role. And what is the racist part of this?
People are thinking she's gonna be Mary Jane Watson when we already have an MJ.
Probably not. Yeah, if we already have a Mary Jane.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Zendaya, but I wish her hair was red.
Yeah. I mean, Mary Jane just has red hair.
Yeah. I'm fine with her first name being Michelle, but...
I just don't see how she's going to be Mary Jane Watson.
Well, that's one of the theories. I think it's a stupid theory.
Yeah, we already have an MJ, so it wouldn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless they're doing a very hard reset to the whole
Oh, God, I hope
universe. It's like for Spider-Man.
But
which
people-
I know that everybody forgets him and everything, but that doesn't make MJ disappear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
She's still there, even if she doesn't remember him.
But no, there's other theories saying that she might be playing a young Jean Grey.
That would make more sense.
Firestorm.
Okay.
Because there was that one cartoon back in the day, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, where it was Firestar and Iceman.
Firestar.
Yeah.
I thought you said Firestorm for a second. I'm like, that's not
I
this
hope I did.
universe.
I hope I didn't.
That's a DC character and a man, usually.
Oh yeah, wasn't he in the Flash?
He was in the Flash.
Uh,
He was in. He was in that one show too, that spin-off show,
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
I thought he
That's
had a
right.
different name.
No, Firestorm. I'm almost certain of that.
It's been so long since I've watched a CW.
It was the professor guy and the football player kid. Oh, what's her name's brother? I'm spacing everything right now. Jesus,
I don't remember.
the love interest. Sort of love interest.
I don't.
Iris.
Oh, Iris.
Iris's brother, and the one professor guy.
No, that.
They combined.
Wait, no.
Firestorm.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I thought they were siblings.
No, you just confused two black people.
Did I?
Yeah, they're two different black people.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. Because her brother is Wally West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Wally. Well, yeah, they are the West family, aren't they?
Yeah. The black kid you're thinking of was I think he was a football.
He was
player.
a football player. I remember that.
Yeah, Wally West was. I think he was like a typical nerd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're two different black people.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry, I don't know why I thought that was funny. Because they always joke about white people doing that, where you confuse one black person for another black person.
I honestly like. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm half black, so whatever. But like, it wasn't really about them both being black. It was about. I kind of just forgot that.
In some ways,
That Iris last name was West, and that they were the West family. Like, it just didn't even occur to me that her brother would be Wally West.
Why did I not? Why did I think Barry's name was West for some reason?
Barry Allen. Barry West. Barry Allen.
Why does that have kind of a good ring to it, though? Barry West.
I don't know.
With how Iris was written in that show,
But yeah,
he might
I
as well
actually
have taken
kind of
that last
forgot
name.
that they were the West family. It makes some sense, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, Firestorm. So the one football player kid and the professor, and they become Firestorm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Firestar, is that the name of this character?
Yeah, she's an X-Men character.
Okay, very cool.
So, but there's that, and they theorize that she might play Gwen Stacy.
Okay, I could see. It's odd. I thought wasn't Gwen Stacy a love interest before Mary Jane?
In
Like-
some instances, like in the new Ultimate Spider-Man comics,
Right.
she's actually married to Harry Osborn before she ever met Peter.
Interesting. Interesting.
And
Do
in
we even know?
Mhm.
Hold on.
Oh, and in the other Ultimate comics, Gwen Stacy, I don't think was ever a love interest. There was a hint of it, maybe, but she died before it ever happened.
Did we have a Harry and Norman Osborn in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies?
Not yet.
I didn't think so. They
No.
they referenced
In
the
the-
company.
No, Osborn referenced it saying my company doesn't exist when he came in No Way
Right,
Home.
he did reference it. Yes. Which is odd. Very odd.
But there are in the animated series that's based off of Tom Holland's.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, okay, she's playing an undisclosed role. We'll see. There's no guarantee that her hair would even be red.
Oh, and
in-
Felicia Hardy.
Okay.
People are theorizing that she might be playing Black Cat.
Okay. Sure.
Which either way, I think she's a great actress. I think regardless of who she's playing, I think she'd do a great job.
But there's no guarantee that her hair would even be red
Exactly.
in the show. So like, I feel like we're making a lot of speculation based on her hair color with
Exactly.
the Mary Jane Watson thing.
Yeah, like Bryce Dallas Howard. Her natural hair color is red, but she played Gwen Stacy, a blonde. So, I think, I don't know. I think if people are they really are just going off of the red hair.
Yeah, dog.
It's kind of sad.
But like, on the whole black people thing,
What?
because you're like I said, I confused like two black people.
What?
Black people.
Sometimes you just gotta whip them.
Wow, that went so far, so fast.
I know she's gonna have to cut that.
That if I remember,
I'm gonna have to text you that.
Cut the whipping.
cut the whipping.
Oh my god.
No whipping. All right. Next.
Marvel is looking to cast a 30 to 40-year-old woman for a Spider-Man villain.
Okay.
Some people are theorizing if that is true, because I'm hearing different reports now. Other culture.
Yeah. It's the fan and the vents.
I almost felt that cold chill too.
Yeah.
That it could be a female version of Dr. Octopus, like Across the Spider-Verse.
Like in Across the Spider-Verse. That okay.
And I'd be okay with that. As long as they choose a good actress to play it, if that would be the case. But now I'm hearing other things that apparently the Chameleon is actually going to be the main villain.
Oh.
Which I don't know how they can get away with that, considering how Sony is, because the Chameleon was revealed at the end of Kraven the Hunter.
Right.
So, personally, too, I don't think
I
Chameleons...
haven't seen that.
I know, that's kind of a spoiler, but that's the only way I can really talk about that part.
Yeah.
But, to be honest, though, Chameleon's not main villain material.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was me, Chameleon would be used to frame Spider-Man, since Jameson's been fully introduced. Chameleon can frame Spider-Man doing all these crimes, while Jameson is also trying to get the Scorpion full and running.
But how would that work if nobody remembers who he is?
Peter Parker's identity doesn't matter. It's only Spider-Man's identity.
Okay, so they remember that Spider-Man exists, they just don't remember Peter Parker.
Right. He'd be framing just Spider-Man.
Oh, I see.
Which usually is what Chameleon's used for nowadays, really.
Yeah.
You know, he's always
Framing.
used to frame him.
Frame.
And like in Spectacular Spider-Man, they use Chameleon to frame him for crimes.
Right.
And then only to happen... My mouth just got dry all of a sudden. Actually, you chose the perfect theme for that. Because in Spectacular Spider-Man, the only way he actually like cleared his name, he got the black suit. So he got the black suit in that, and James is like, "How do we even know you're the real Spider-Man?" He gave him a quip about his mustache. He's like, "Yeah, that's the real one." So, personally, I hope they just Chameleon's a good street level villain, but they need someone bigger than him.
Someone bigger and better.
Personally, I want
Like
it to.
Kingpin.
I want it to be Kingpin.
Yeah?
I think it should be Kingpin. It should be a team
Little
up with Daredevil.
crossover? Little crossover
Exactly.
action?
Exactly. Like have him team up with Daredevil.
Okay.
Spider-Man fans want to see that.
I could see that.
Red and red.
And then Deadpool shows up for no reason.
Oh dear God, please no.
Red, red, red.
Especially since Deadpool wants to fuck Spider-Man all the time.
That's odd, seeing some iterations of Spider-Man are high schoolers.
Exactly. Well, he's actually they only did that when he's an adult.
Okay.
Speaking of, real quick, this is very off topic, but kind of close to what he was just saying.
No.
So we were talking to Izzy yesterday,
Okay.
and you all know Izzy. He's the gay co-host that was always on here.
Guest, really. Yeah.
I don't know why I said co-host, but he's a guest, and you know this will probably make Kayla spit up her pizza right away.
Puh.
Not that kind of spit up.
Hawk to it.
He was talking about like a hear me out, and he said, "Hear me out, Ash Ketchum."
That is a 12-year-old boy.
We looked.
That's not a good look.
We looked at him. No, we looked at. We looked at him. He's like, and we were like, "He's 10 years old." He's like, "No, Ash when he's older," and we're like, "He's
He never
always 10
gets
years old."
older. He's always a child. It's been a child.
Sorry,
for 50
Izzy, I had to tell that
years.
story.
Hey guys, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage. No. Hopefully somebody on the internet understands that reference that I
Oh,
just
that's
made.
still a very good reference, right?
Yeah,
like
the
nowadays.
History of the entire world, I guess.
Oh, but last bit of Marvel news: Finn
Okay.
Jones, who played Iron Fist in the Netflix series.
Right. Didn't like that version of Iron Fist. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, not that he
Not a lot of people
necessarily
did.
did a bad job, just that I didn't like the way they wrote Danny Rand in that show.
That's kind of what he
It's
said.
it's the writing. It's the writing. He acted it out exactly how they wanted him to. It seems. I just didn't like the way they wrote that character.
That's kind of what he said actually in this interview that was revealed today or yesterday.
Right.
He says he wants to come back as Iron Fist, and his quote is, "I'm very aware of the critiques of the character and my role in it. My response to that is, give me a fucking chance, man. I'm here and I'm ready and I want to prove people wrong." I'm for it.
I would love for you to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I would love a great version of Iron Fist. Maybe do some crossover with Shang-Chi. You know what I mean?
Personally, if they want to reintroduce him and reintroduce Luke Cage, Heroes for Hire.
I wouldn't be against it. Honestly, I would actually like some more Luke Cage. I'm surprised that they haven't done more with him.
Well, there's theories saying that in Daredevil season 2, they're going to be bringing back. Daredevil's going to form his own team to take down Kingpin.
Oh,
So
he's
Luke
gonna go
Cage,
talk to
Jessica
Luke?
Jones, Iron Fist might come back.
No, the Defenders Part 2.
And maybe Elektra if she's still alive.
Yeah. She's always alive. Somewhere. Somehow.
I know. I'm just surprised they haven't revealed anything about her in season 3.
Yeah. But I would not be against that. I'd love some more Luke Cage. I hope that they write Danny Rand a little better, and I think that I could be excited for that. I hope that's good. I really honestly think that they should do something with Shang-Chi and Iron Fist. Like, I think that like
Oh, they should, because they're like best friends in the comics.
exactly. They're both excellent fighters. They both were trained in the similar geographical areas of the world. Like I mean, seriously, like they're like a great duo, a really great duo, especially for like street level heroes, and I think that you could introduce a lot of interesting backstory between the two of them. I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
And speaking of, I'm just gonna say this: they better not recast anybody, especially the guy they got for Luke Cage. I think he's perfect for Luke Cage, personally.
No, absolutely, he should be the one coming back as Luke Cage.
Because I don't think you can get any better than that.
No, perfect. No notes. No
Danny
notes.
Rand, maybe, but like you said, it's
Like
the
I
script.
said, I think it was more the script. I think that it was a poorly written version of Danny Rand.
Some people were actually saying recently, like, give him a chance, because they are agreeing that the script really was the weakest. Why no one really cared for the show?
Seriously, like
I never saw
I
Iron Fist
feel like the script. I didn't care enough about the like not. I mean, I enjoyed the show well enough. I didn't care enough about the problem, like the why am I spacing the word for it? I can't think today. The anyway,
I haven't seen the show, so I'm not sure if you're referring to something in the show.
no, I'm not referring to something in the show, just the literary device. I can't think of the name for it.
Script writing,
No.
character development,
Conflict. Jesus.
conflict.
Could not. I couldn't make myself care enough about the conflict in the show. I feel like the writing didn't make me care enough about Danny Rand, about his problems that he was trying to overcome. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Like, honestly, I feel like the stakes weren't high enough. I felt like the writing for the character himself was a little poorly done. Like, he was a little too whiny, I think they could have done a better job to make me care about the issues he was trying to solve. So I think that's really the big thing for me. And I hope they do better with that in the future.
I hope so too.
I hope they do better with that. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great, and I think it could be better. Iron Fist is a cool character, and I think that you can do a lot with him. So I hope that they do.
What would actually be interesting too is if they can get Jessica Jones and Luke Cage together, and have them be the first. Well, no, they're not going to be able to be the first mom and dad, because Reed Richards and Sue Storm's coming out.
Right.
But I was going to say that would be an interesting idea.
Wait, hold
to
on.
see
Luke
in the
is
MCU.
with. He's with
I don't remember who he ended up with at the
What's
end
her
of the
name?
show.
The nurse.
You mean the Rosario Dawson character?
Is that her name?
No, that
she
was the
like
actress.
the
And
actress.
she was in Daredevil season 1.
Daredevil season 1. She was like the first love interest for him.
But I think she only was in season 1 of Luke Cage.
No, I remember back in the Defenders.
Did she come back?
Like, she was still with him. Like,
Did
they
she
were.
come back into Defenders?
Yeah, and they were a couple.
Huh. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they were like a strong, they were a steady couple. So like, I think they're still together. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see some more Jessica Jones, Luke Cage action. Hot and steamy, like great. But no, I'm pretty sure.
Jessica Jones, I like my
her.
coffee
Why
black.
am I? Hold on.
She was a character in the comics too. I know who you're talking about. I gotta turn off notifications for this.
Claire.
Claire, that's what her name was.
Claire Rosario Dawson. Yes. She played Claire, and Claire and Luke, I think, are still a couple, canonically speaking. So
Yeah,
in the show.
that's the only thing I didn't. I also didn't watch season 2 of Luke Cage.
Yeah, like in the shows, like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, they did have a little fling, get together and stuff like that, which made sense. They're both superhumans. How many other people can you really let loose with in the But I think that Luke and Chloe, Luke and Claire, sorry, not Chloe, Claire, Luke and Claire, I think they're a good couple, and I think that they work well together. So,
I think Rosario Johnson would come back.
oh, almost certainly, almost certainly. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't. So yeah,
Now coming to the DC news,
DC.
only one bit of news, and this is more of a Batman related news.
Bat.
Batman Nightfall is getting an animated trilogy planned.
That phrase you just said, start over and say it again.
Batman Nightfall. It's getting an animated trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Similar to the Long Halloween that they made 2 separate movies for it. They're going to do that. Apparently, they're doing that for Nightfall. The one where, for people who don't know, it's the story that The Dark Knight Rises was based off of as well, where Bane breaks Batman's back.
He broke the bat. Okay.
So, I'm actually kind of surprised. I guess it's a really big story. I didn't know it was that big for a trilogy.
Heck yeah.
So, that was kind of surprising. But yeah, that's the only news I really found for DC.
Heck yeah, dude. All right.
Now, going into TV shows, Powerpuff. Something that didn't show. So,
Oh yeah, because you said that the thing that I saw didn't show everything that was leaked.
well, there's dick jokes.
Of course.
You know, boner jokes and all that.
Best.
The guy that Blossom. So just so everyone knows what we're talking about, Powerpuff Girls was supposed to get a live action TV show on the CW, and thankfully it was canceled. I actually on YouTube before I stepped away from YouTube, I gotta take this thing off. It's starting to hurt my head. How's my hair?
It's interesting. It's like a little swept back like an anime character.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Anyways, no Mabel.
Hey.
Mabel, no.
Hey, no dogs on camera.
We don't get any bitches on this camera.
I'm beautiful. Hey.
But no, it was thankfully canceled. And before I stepped away from YouTube, I actually read part of the leaked script that was leaked, and it was so bad I couldn't even read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fake when I saw it. And I thought that was fake when I saw it at first. I was like, this has got to be like AI generated or something.
Right.
It fit the bill with everything I read. The fact that Blossom basically, not Blossom, Bubbles basically worked on the streets. Blossom,
Got an alcohol problem.
yeah, an alcohol problem. Apparently sucking dick a lot. That was something that I read in the script.
Wow.
Blossom became a lesbian.
Of course.
Not Blossom, Buttercup. Buttercup became a lesbian.
That kind of makes sense.
And this part I didn't get to in the script, but the kid that she was flirting with,
Yeah, on the front lawn.
you wouldn't believe what his name is. Jojo. His father's name.
Jojo,
Yeah.
I imagine.
And the person they accidentally killed that made
That's
him
a
step
literal monkey. His dad was an actual monkey.
Yeah. No, his dad wasn't a monkey. He was like this.
Mojo Jojo is a monkey.
No, in the show. In this show, he wasn't
was
a monkey. No.
Okay.
He was like a politician or something.
Oh?
Yeah. And apparently the Powerpuff Girls accidentally killed him.
Oh? And then what? Retired in shame and started drinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Washed up heroes.
Hey.
Interesting concept, I suppose.
I mean, it probably would have been fun to see, like, maybe the first season, but that shit was going to bomb bad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that I would go and watch.
No. I would watch it just to see how fucked up they can make every character. Like him, Fuzzy Lumpkins, the Gangrene Gang.
Gangrene Gang.
I mean, they had apparently had enough budget to make a giant robot. They couldn't even make a CGI monkey.
Would we get to see this the mayor's secretary's face?
Shit, I don't think they even showed the mayor in the trailer.
I don't think so.
Not in the full trailer because
The mayor.
because Warner Brothers actually was doing a full takedown. That's why I found what I could find.
Right.
So
That's wild.
going away from that, honestly, you can still find it, guys. You just got to find one that says copyright on, like, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Watermark.
Watermark.
What are you doing? Don't be retarded.
Let's get retarded in here.
Ooh, who?
Hey,
It's getting cut. The whole thing. It's getting cut.
okay. We don't have Black Eyed Peas fans in this house. For those of
I do.
you who
That
don't
is
know,
the
Wait, is that part of the
that's the
lyrics?
original cut of the song.
Not
I didn't
politically
write it.
correct word anymore.
I didn't write it.
I don't think it was ever politically
Talk to
correct.
Will I Am and Fergie. I didn't write that.
Well, they have the new version now. That
Mhm.
You're supposed to sing "Let's Get It Started."
Who said
Why do I
supposed
feel?
to?
Why do I feel like that's a Mandela effect? Because I don't remember. I feel like I've heard both.
Yeah, there was too.
Yeah.
I feel like I've only heard. I'm so confused now. Getting away from all that, and maybe getting to the R word a little bit.
Taboo. Taboo
Well,
words.
can you really? Because they weren't. There was really no R words in this show. Malcolm in the Middle. So they're keeping the actors of Reese and Francis in the show.
What? Okay, you just said Malcolm in the Middle. Am I supposed to know what's happening with that?
Wait,
Where do you go?
didn't I tell you about the Malcolm in the Middle
Where are you
reboot?
going?
Oh, is there? Are you asking the dog where he's going? I don't think he knows.
He looked like he was about to face
He's
plant.
about to fall right onto the laptop, mess everything up.
Why does he look like he aged like 5 years from that?
Okay, so Malcolm in the Middle
He's seen some
reboot. We
shit.
might have talked about this before.
I think I mentioned it in the in one of our last episodes.
Right.
But yeah, they're doing a reboot. It's only 4 episodes, maybe like an hour long for each one.
Mm-hmm.
But they announced that they are bringing back the brothers for Reese and Francis.
Okay.
Hamburger.
Dewey, however, is being recast.
He
Really?
got up because he knows you guys are gonna do the snacks soon.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna do the snacks pretty soon. But Dewey has been recast because the actor stepped away from acting. He's not really doing it anymore.
Right.
So they cast Caleb Ellsworth. I think he was someone on Stranger Things, where I've seen the picture of him. He actually looks a lot like Dewey.
Okay.
So he's gonna be playing Dewey's character.
Down, baby. I don't understand what you wanted. You were just calling down.
Dog.
He still looks like he aged like 5 years from that fall. Did he see Korea in that dream?
Flashbacks of Nam.
We're not doing the snacks yet. No.
He wants to lay down there next to you on top of the laptop. Is what he's trying to do.
Why on top of the laptop?
You're not a fucking cat.
Why on top of the laptop?
I don't know.
Marty, you're not a cat. You're like a tomato.
He's
Kayla.
a tomato.
Just in case, watch the blanket.
All right.
Oh. Ooh. It's like a roller coaster ride for the viewers.
Yep.
Now there's a tomato in there.
Don't mind the shakes. The camera stabilizes itself, I think. So, like, it really probably doesn't even look like it shakes.
That's
Yeah.
surprising.
Like, I can see the camera shaking back and forth, but it probably won't even look like that to you guys. Yeah, he got what he wanted.
Thank God.
'Cause you were too nice to tell him no.
Why would I tell him no? He's my son.
I didn't know you were pregnant at one point.
I was, and then I gave birth.
Oh my
I
God.
think that your children are the people you should say no to the most. Even if I agree that he was your child.
Oh, you
which he's not.
mean how most parents don't even say no to their kids anyways?
Correct. And now their kids think they can do whatever they want, whenever they want.
That's why you gotta
And
get the
they're
belt.
little demons, little pieces of garbage.
I adopted Maple from the Nazi farm.
Let's get away
Are
from
we allowed
that.
to say that? Are we allowed to say that? Like, I couldn't say it.
He's a Nazi in the garden.
Jesus Christ.
You're cutting that out. That's so bad. They're gonna think,
Recovering Nazis.
oh man, now we're just gonna be part. Now people are gonna try and throw us with Elon Musk.
It was just a greeting, guys.
Power Rangers, they're being rebooted.
Again?
Yeah.
There was a live action Power Rangers a little while back. It actually wasn't even terrible. It wasn't even.
I actually thought that was good,
It wasn't bad.
but I guess it was like a commercial flop. But they're rebooting it.
That
again.
was years ago. Yeah, it wasn't. I honestly, I watched it and I was like, okay, that wasn't that
I think
bad.
that was
But it
maybe-
wasn't very popular. Not very many people went to watch it.
Yeah, I feel like that was maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
God.
Man.
But they're rebooting it again with the original Rangers again.
Time is weird.
and they've already been cast, but they're like unknown actors, so I don't think it really matters to really name them off.
It's really odd to be trying to make a major motion picture like Blockbuster with a show that was like so spoofy and so campy, like, and it was made to be that way. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's a good, I enjoyed it a lot as a kid, but like to be able to take an IP that is like the campiest thing that you've ever seen in your life and try to make it into this blockbuster film, like it just feels odd to me.
Yeah.
It does, you know what I mean? Because it's got to have some of those campy elements to even.
I do wonder if it's going to be like
continue
that
to
original
really be the
campiness.
Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you take all the campiness away, it won't be Power Rangers anymore. But
That was me.
Oh, that was Marty.
but at the same time, it's like, how do you make a real blockbuster hit with that? You know,
It's going to be interesting to see.
I feel like nostalgia's not enough anymore.
It really
Like there have been so many remakes that like nostalgia's not enough to get people off their couch and to go watch the movie in theaters. Like you have to give them a real good reason why they want to go see this remake.
Exactly.
You
And
know what I mean?
it is coming from Netflix, too.
You know what I mean? Like we'll see. We'll see. It could be good.
And speaking of Netflix, Scooby-Doo also is getting a Netflix live action
Scooby Doo Doo.
series. And they actually did release a synopsis on that.
Favorite Scooby Doo theme song?
What's New Scooby-Doo?
I think What's New Scooby Doo is the best one.
Isn't that the one that actually had a very cohesive story?
Yeah, but I mean, like, we're just talking about the theme song right
No,
now.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember which one it was.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
New Scooby-Doo? We're
Coming after you, gonna solve that mystery.
Yeah, that one's good.
That was good. I mean, the original's cool. The Scooby Doo.
The original one's a classic.
Where are
but
you?
The
They're not
What's New
bad.
Scooby-Doo was like.
But What's New Scooby Doo?
a
I mean, that
slapper.
just hits. What's the Scooby Doo? We're coming after you. We're gonna solve that mystery.
Did you ever see that
Love that stuff.
YouTube fan series? Like he got a whole bunch of money to make a series of Scooby-Doo with like some actors and like friends.
Huh?
I'd have to show you it afterwards. But like he got a whole bunch of money to actually make episodes from it, and apparently it was well received.
Okay.
But this is the synopsis.
Synopsis.
During their final summer at camp, old friends, and this is where it changes it up a little bit, old friends Shaggy and Daphne get embroiled in a haunting mystery surrounding a lonely lost Great Dane puppy that may have been a witness to a supernatural murder. Together with the pragmatic and scientific townie, Velma, and the strange but ever so handsome new kid, Freddy, they set out to solve the case that is pulling each of them into a creepy nightmare that threatens to expose all of their secrets.
So this is a Scooby Doo origin story.
Yeah, another one.
Another one, of course.
And hopefully it's better than the one that involved Robbie and Mel,
Yeah. Well.
where they made Fred have black hair.
Yeah. That was stupid.
It was. And
Like, of all the things to change, you know, making him not blonde. For what? For why?
like,
It's so easy
That
to
should
put
be-
a wig on somebody.
well, not just that. That should be a contract obligation that if it's a well-known feature of a character, you need to have it.
Just like blonde hair. Like, it's really not that difficult. Blonde hair. He's blonde. That's
Exactly.
just throw a wig on him.
And plus, his brother is like dirty blonde.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
Anyway.
Because you know his brother Steven.
I'll watch
right?
it. Probably. Maybe. We'll see if we get some more updates on that and see if it's something that I think is going to be worth watching.
Oh, speaking of which,
Speaking of what?
I'm gonna save this last bit for the end of this segment, but we're gonna talk about video game news.
You know, it's always speaking of which. Why is it never speaking of Warlock?
Anyways,
That was. I would just take that out.
No! You better keep that in there.
Just because.
I mean that was funny,
Boy,
but I was
why-
like, what the fuck?
Come on.
I'm gonna start with some news that you would be interested in hearing. So apparently, there's a new Xbox system rumors.
Okay, no. That should not happen.
No,
Pissed me off.
there's a part of it that actually has people excited, and they're
Look,
saying,
I get it. Everybody's excited about the quantum computer. I get it. But you haven't heard about that?
no, they're saying like they're gonna add Steam to it.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, that's the rumors.
That'd be cool. Is it? I mean, but as long as it's just a software update, because
Honestly, I just don't feel like there's a purpose to make
right. If I can just download Steam on my Xbox, then fine. That's fine. If they have a software update that allows
You okay?
Yeah.
I would love that because then I could play PlayStation games on my Xbox. But I don't think they should make a whole new system.
I don't
for
think
it,
they should.
because then it's like, okay, I get to miss out on this because we just got an Xbox not that long ago. You know what I mean?
2 months ago.
Right.
Well, not just that. I mean, like,
That would
how much better can you get than what the game looks like now?
I had to sit
It
in
can.
a mock trial for 5 hours for this thing.
You did.
No.
The what?
Oh, she made extra money from a mock trial to get this Xbox. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, no, honestly, because I figure eventually they'll come up with a new system, but I thought it would be more due to the fact that they have a new computer technology.
like it.
You remember the
I would.
Microsoft came out with the Azure Quantum,
Yeah.
so like a new quantum computer, which is supposed to be like revolutionize their ability to do like quantum calculations and everything. Is supposed to be an extremely efficient processor and everything, just like. Just a very powerful computer, that's supposed to help solve a lot of issues. I figured they would use that technology to make a better gaming system eventually, but I don't see. I wasn't, the Steam thing. I wasn't.
Because Cities, I'm a big Cities fan, and Cities on Steam is supposedly like a lot better. I want to get it on the computer because you have Steam.
I have Steam. I honestly wouldn't mind. I would love to play some of these games on my Xbox because the Xbox is a great processor in all those games.
Not just that you have more access
buttery
to games
smooth.
on Steam compared to what Xbox Game Pass is.
Well, yes, correct. But so I wouldn't mind it, but not if I have to buy a new Xbox for it.
Right.
That doesn't sound like something that needs a new Xbox. That sounds
I would be the same way when it comes to the PS5.
That sounds like something you could do with a software update to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's no reason to need new hardware just to add Steam to Xbox. Just give me a software update that puts Steam on my device.
Yeah.
Like
I'd be perfectly fine with that.
that'd be perfectly fine with that. That doesn't make any sense. Why? What? What? The Steam app probably wouldn't even take up that much space.
No, you really shouldn't.
Right, and you would just have access to other games, and you could download games off of Steam. That's all you need to be able to do is download games off of Steam and play them.
Right.
So stupid. So I hope they don't come out with a whole new Xbox for that because that sounds stupid to me.
It is a stupid idea. I think it should just be an update. I mean, if they said the same thing for PlayStation, I'd be in the same boat as you.
Right, be like, okay.
And not just that, PlayStation needs to figure out their own whole system because, like, I'm sorry, I'm not playing anything. I hate these whole these digital games that are from like the PS3 era and PS2, not really because that's not really a big issue. But PS3, the fact that it tries to stream it, like connection issues, and it's like it streams it at the worst quality possible. It makes me not want to play them at all. And Nintendo Switch does the same thing when they're trying to play Guardians of the Galaxy or Kingdom Hearts. It runs horribly. Why
Right.
the fuck would I want to waste my time with that?
Right.
So, but yeah, that was one of those news. Going back to God of War,
God of War.
I don't remember if he's the showrunner or the writer, but regardless, he's one of those. But the TV showrunner / writer can't play the games.
Watch your tone. Boy. Boy.
You know,
Sometimes I can do that really well, sometimes I can't.
I can do that really well when I'm
No. Depends on the weapon
boy
and the man.
and the blackness. Because he's black.
We are hunting for deer.
That's actually pretty good.
In the direction of deer. And it's my Kratos impression. Thank you.
I don't think she's ever heard him. Kratos is like the sex. Kratos
You,
is,
okay, you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna keep giving me dirty looks. Like I don't need this kind of disrespect on
After
my
you
show.
just moved
Swear to
in.
God, I just did all this work moving stuff. You know what I mean?
I have no comment on that because I can say a lot of things of past experiences.
She was very helpful.
No, not that.
She was very helpful.
Past experiences.
But I sweat a lot, and I lifted heavy things.
I was wondering what that smell was.
What, me?
Huh?
You just said he stank, right?
No, I just said I wonder what that. It was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he smells. Like, I don't really smell you. I'm not gonna smell you. You want me to smell you? I'll smell
No.
you. I'll just take it like a big. No, what? I'm kidding. I ain't smelling him.
The audience wants to see.
What? We ain't doing no OnlyFans on here.
Boy.
But no, apparently he can't play the games.
Can't play the games.
He feels like it's too hard for him to understand. But he
Who
says
is this?
the showrunner or writer of the God of War TV series,
Can't play
the God of War games.
because they're too hard.
Yeah, he says he was more, give him like arcade games and all that. He's good to go. Newer games he can't play, and it's gotten people worried that the show's not going to live up to expectations.
Right after the God of War and God of War Ragnarok, like
And it's based off of God of War, the 2018 version.
Right, and that was an amazing storyline, amazing acting, amazing. Like, everything about it was great. And if you can't play the game...
And if you can't know the story
right,
before you write it...
you have to be able to capture the vibe of the show.
Like, seriously.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. That's the news on the God of War TV show. And
See, Hollywood people...
maybe I should have saved that for the TV part.
Hollywood
Oh, well.
people, like... sometimes I really don't get it. I really don't get it. People like Henry Cavill are like one in a million. And then everybody else is like, yeah, I don't really know anything about it, but like I think I could do it even better than the originals.
Oh.
Who are you?
Speaking of, wait, no, hold on. This will give him a conniption, and this might be worth clipping.
A conniption fit.
So, obviously people know about The Witcher and the video games. I was at Books A Million, and I could overhear this conversation coming with this family that was like not too far away, but far enough to where I shouldn't be able to hear them that clearly. And I heard the stupidest thing, and they were like, "Wow, they have books of The Witcher? I wonder if they're as good as the games." Or like based on the Witcher games.
Oh my God.
I almost wanted to turn around and actually say something to them. And be like, the games are actually based on the books.
Actually?
I really wanted to turn around.
That would be the ultimate actually moment.
I really wanted to turn around and say that to him, but I'm like, I'm not really in the mindset to talk to stupid. So I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Oh, my God. That's absolutely wild.
You had no words.
That's absolutely wild. That's absolutely crazy. People are nuts. People are, I'm not, always a big fan of people. But this is the world we live in.
And I just realized something, and I got to do a twist around on the topic real quick. Mm-hmm. Stick into fantasy and magic real quick to Harry Potter.
Oh my God!
First off, there's gonna be a lot of conversation if they stick to what could be happening. If they make Harry, if they leave Harry alone and just leave him white, and they leave the casting that they already chose for Snape.
Give him actual green eyes this time.
But the suspicion of a black man being evil, and it's like considering they have a black man playing Snape in the first book.
Yeah, I mean Snape's not evil, but yeah.
But no, the suspicion of a white guy,
of
a white kid thinking a black guy is actually evil. And sorry, I just don't remember his name.
I don't know.
Right
it's
now.
just something about him. I can't seem to trust this guy.
But it was a realization when I was like, wait a minute, this could turn very racist if they're not careful.
Oh, man.
Like, people are going to take it as racism.
Oh, my God. I just thought of another line from God of War, and it wasn't even in the game. Part of it was, but the last part was not. Have you seen that clip? It was actually a clip showing like the green recording with like, what was the actor's name who played Kratos?
Oh, the green screen?
Yeah.
You mean when they're in motion capture?
Motion capture. Oh my goodness. They were doing it was motion capture footage of when he was in Freya's house, when Kratos was in Freya's house, and she was asking him to get lamb's
I don't think I've
cress.
seen the motion capture version of that.
Yeah, but it was a funny like moment because like she was like, and she's like asked like the pigs like on the floor dying or whatever, and she was like, I need lamb's cress. Could you go pick some from the garden? It's a white flower. You can't miss it. And he like sits there for a second. He's like, fine. Like walking up to the door, lamb's cress. I'm a fucking god of war. I just great moments. Everybody on set started laughing. The last bit was not in there. Him grumbling lamb's cress was in there, I believe.
But no, there actually is
cress.
casting news on Harry Potter.
Okay.
Nick Frost.
Mm-hmm.
You seen Hot Fuzz or
No.
Shaun of the Dead?
No.
You've never seen any of those movies?
No.
What the fuck?
I do not know.
Well, Nick Frost is apparently being considered for the role of Hagrid.
What does Nick Frost look like?
Well, he's
Does he look like Hagrid?
Well, to be fair, he did have to put a whole suit on. The guy who originally voiced him. The guy who played Hagrid originally did have to put a whole thing on him.
Yeah, but he was a big guy.
He was he?
Robbie Coltrane?
Was he actually tall?
No, not the tall. He was a big guy.
I thought they had to add more padding to him to make him bigger.
They did.
Yeah.
But he was already a big guy. It's just one of those things. I feel like when you have to do too much work physically, they end up turning to CGI, which means we're probably just gonna have a CGI face on, or like his face slapped on a CGI body of Hagrid,
More than likely. Maybe.
which sucks.
But this series really is just not. It's not doing it for me. But I wanted to turn it around real quick on that.
I hope it's good.
I hope
really,
it's good
really
too.
hope that it's good.
But there's not much. There's not much for me to look hope for. Indiana Jones,
Losing hope.
the video game,
Sure.
officially coming out in April on the PS5.
Oh,
So I'll be
okay.
able to,
I was
like,
like,
April
buddy,
sev-
I already finished that game
No, I was gonna say April 17th. I think they said it's coming out.
on the PlayStation, which you're excited about, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as I get a better job, I'll be getting that right away. And then Neil Dunkerman, or however you pronounce his name,
Neil Dunkerman.
he's he's like one of the head people of Naughty Dog.
Oh, okay.
Particularly not a fan of his. I just don't like some of the choices he makes. But he says that The Last of Us Part 3 may not happen. They may not ever make a third game.
I kind of feel that, to be honest. I'm not really sure. This is my first time hearing that was a possibility. I also don't think it needed to happen.
I feel like
I don't know if 2 needed to happen.
2 didn't need to happen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of don't think that we needed part 2.
And if I'm being...
Not that I hate it. It was
Yeah.
cool, and I plan on playing both part 1 and 2 on Steam.
Did Last of Us Part 2 come out on PC already?
But I...
What?
Why do you keep doing that? Anyway.
Me too. You think I'm just doing? I'm literally looking at hotels.
Anyway.
Again.
No, I
subscribe
honestly-
to our Patreon.
Jesus Christ. That's never going to happen. No, like, I mean, I still will play part 2. I think that it'll probably still be a fun game. Although, I'm just going to be honest, I just don't know if I needed part 2. Certainly not the way that they made it. I didn't need it. If it was another game of me being able to be Joel, great. Same thing. Okay, similar feeling. Similar feeling to God of War, because both of them have that dynamic going for them.
Yeah.
Like the paternal figure and then the younger child and stuff, and you play as the paternal figure, right? Last of Us captures that vibe just as well as God of War did, right? A great dynamic, a great way to set up a game. Honestly, it makes it feel like a fun and immersive game and gives you a lot of motivation to do the things that the character needs to do. Right. Perfect. And I loved playing as Kratos. I think I'm gonna really enjoy playing as Joel. So like when, spoiler, kinda been a long time since this happened. So when they killed Joel right at the beginning of part 2, I was just like, yeah, I don't know how much I care about the rest of this game. Gonna be honest. I was excited for it. I was excited for the game when it came, like it was coming out and everything like that. And then everybody got that whole shocker of Joel dying, and I was like, I was watching a playthrough of it at the time, and I'm like, I really debated whether or not I was gonna finish watching this playthrough. I was like, if Joel's dead, I don't know if I care anymore. Like, I watched the next episode just in the hope that they were just tricking us and that Joel wasn't really dead. right? But he was, and I was just like, I don't really care anymore.
You know, when I finished
You
the
know,
game,
I mean, I like Ellie well enough, but I was like, I don't really care. I mean, I'm here for Joel.
you know what though? When I finished the game, when it first originally came out,
Right.
I did my review, and people like to say, "Oh, you just don't understand the story." Here's the thing: they didn't structure the story well.
What, part 2?
Part 2, yeah, because honestly, first off, if they did it this way, they could easily make a part 3,
Right.
using the story of Last of Us Part 2.
Right.
Instead of doing what they did, still kill Joel, yes, but lead up to that.
Like, leave it
Don't
at the
just
end.
start it off like that. Yeah,
End the game with Joel dying.
yeah. Make the second game focus on Abby, because you don't necessarily need, like, Abby was an interesting character in my opinion, but you don't like it. You need to give a reason to give a fuck about Abby and her story. Because midway through the game, you switch to Abby's point of view. You see her leading up to that point where she finds Joel and all that kind of jazz, why she's doing it.
Right.
But a lot of people are like, too little, too late. You need to build up to that point, make it a mystery of who the hell she's hunting down, why she's hunting them down. Don't give it away because it leaves that mystery to it. And even if it ends on the time when Joel is killed, with after playing golf,
Right.
Maybe still continue it where you kind of see what Ellie's been doing, because she does see all the bodies Ellie's been killing, and then end it at the theater when she confronts Ellie and leave it at a cliffhanger, and then the next game follows Ellie's point of view. Because personally, Last of Us Part 2 ended on such a perfect note to where there's no need for a sequel to follow any of these characters,
Right.
and ended to where Ellie goes off in the distance.
Right.
And I think if they structured the story better, instead of doing whatever the fuck they did on Last of Us Part 2, it would have been received much better.
Yeah, honestly. Like, I mean, killing Joel is a powerful, powerful literary tool. Like, there are so many things that you can do with that, and they certainly got a lot of the shock factor when people first encountered that moment.
And it got
where Joel
leaked.
dies. Right, and it did get leaked, which
Yeah.
sucked. But people got to that moment, and, like, they see that Joel dies, and it's a shocking moment. It really is. It's a shocking scene. And
I think they said they're
I
gonna,
think it could have been used better, like you said. I mean, it all comes back to poor writing. I think that it could have been written better. I think it could have been structured better. Even having more involvement of Joel in the game. You could like split the time between Joel and Ellie as you went through the game and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Them kind of rekindling their relationship. I think would have been really good, because they kind of drifted apart by that point, and it seemed like, but like, maybe some crisis happens and they end up going on an adventure together and they end up growing closer again. And
you know what the funny thing is, though? I feel like season 2 is gonna do that. I feel like they're gonna build up to it this time.
right, maybe, but yeah, wasn't jazzed. And so now hearing that there was a potential part 3 that nobody wanted or cared about, and that
And
it's
people
not
are-
going to happen, I think,
And
maybe it shouldn't.
And people are actually mad that apparently that multiplayer game was canceled, even though it was probably just gonna be exactly the same as like Marvel Rivals.
The only way I think I would want another Last of Us game
Is if it follows someone else.
is if it was a prequel.
People
A
actually been
prequel
saying
of Joel before he met Ellie.
Joel
After
Joel
the
and his brother.
yeah, Joel and his brother.
And show why they drifted apart too.
Right. Honestly, I would love a prequel following Joel and his brother and everything like that. I think that would be a really great game. So obviously after the events of where his daughter died, but before the events where he met Ellie and did all
Wait,
that
not
crap.
just that.
With Tess and all that too.
Not just that. Show off, his relationship with Tess, because I think there was a lot of tension there that made it seem like they had a relationship at one point.
Right.
But his suicidal tendencies too, because obviously Joel had to be suicidal because of what happened to his daughter.
Yeah.
But a prequel, I think, honestly, if Neil doesn't think of doing a prequel like that, then he's even more of an idiot than he realizes.
Honestly, I think that would be. That's honestly, that's what I would come back for is a prequel. I don't think that 2 was well received enough to really make people want to play a part 3 based off of this part 2, and and certainly not, especially the way that they ended it, like you said, like it was very well resolved. I mean, not a great story, but a well resolved story by the end. There's really no conflict or anything. They would have to, like, cold turkey start a new conflict in the next iteration of the game, in the next part, just to give us a reason to want to play. In which, right, because right now, like, everything's done. You could maybe do another Ellie story, I guess, where she's, but it would be completely unrelated to anything that happened before.
Exactly.
I just don't see how you would relate it to anything that's happened before. Whereas if you had a prequel, you'd give us a character that we all know and love. Everybody loves Joel, and creating a new interesting story that gives us some more insight into his life and the things that he's gone through.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, that's my thought.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the video. Oh, no, I forgot. There's another video game topic that I'm going to go on a tangent about. Recently, after the Nintendo Direct, they announced they're doing an app to give you all Nintendo news. And apparently the first big news they drop...
I will not download that.
I won't either. Especially after the news they dropped, which honestly I just think is a big red flag.
Yeah. I've made my thoughts on Nintendo very clear.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, continue.
There's going to be a live action... Apparently, officially, for a release date, the Legend of Zelda live action film is going to be released in 2027. There's so many red flags. Oh, and it's being distributed by Sony.
Great.
So I'm pretty sure Borderlands was also distributed by Sony.
And Sony makes so many great products in the film sphere. They make so many good movies that we love.
And why would I not be surprised if AV Arad is actually his company's producing it?
Yeah.
He ruins almost anything.
Sony makes so many great Marvel movies. I mean, the Borderland movie, that was everybody's favorite. Like, there's really no reason why I would not want to watch a Sony motion picture.
And not just that, like, it should be owned by DreamWorks. The fact that they did Mario.
Yeah.
And if anything, The Legend of Zelda should be animated and actually using the animation style that the Puss in Boots The Last Wish used, which was more treating it like a painting come to life.
Yeah.
So already that's a red flag. That's live action.
Yeah.
No one wants live action Legend of Zelda.
No.
They want a movie.
Nobody asked for that.
And here's the other thing. It's been in development hell for years.
Yeah.
So already that's a bad sign.
And look, I'm not saying it couldn't be good. Like, to be fair, Sony has made some good things.
They made the Emoji movie instead of a Popeye movie.
Yeah, that was not one of the good things. But yeah, I don't know. It's odd. It's odd when people offer you things that you never wanted or asked for. You know.
Well, here's the thing, though, and this is the red flag I definitely have for it.
Gotcha.
So they announced a release date for 2027.
Right.
Why on earth would you announce a release date when you don't even have an announcement for a director or a writer? You're announcing a release date for something you don't even have ready yet.
All out of order.
Exactly. You don't announce a release date until you have your other eggs in the basket. So it has a chance of being good, but there's a lot of red flags already.
You know, it's a strange thing to me. It's a strange thing to me how you can have an umbrella company, but depending on which media you choose, like the level of quality can change so drastically. So like Sony, for example, video games, incredible exclusives that they have for under their umbrella. You know what I mean? Great story, great writing, great everything. Like they make great games. You know what I mean? You know, God of War, Infamous, The Last of Us, Spider-Man. Like they're lots of great examples of great games in Uncharted. Just like it goes on and on and on. But then you switch over to the film sphere, and you're like, what happened? Like somebody else is dipping their toes in this because this is like not good. I mean, there are Marvel movies, Morbius, Madam Web,
Kraven the
Hunter. Yeah, no, like it just Venom was their best. That was their peak. Was Venom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they weren't great, but
and it was just a decent movie. It felt so good because it was decent, whereas the other ones just weren't. You know what I mean? Like, it felt good maybe more by comparison than anything else. And nothing against Venom. I did enjoy those movies. Just that, like, it almost it was almost like it just was good because it was better than the crap we usually got
Yeah.
fed from them, and it's just weird to me because that happens a lot. I mean, same thing with like DC's live action films, generally subpar. Whereas their animated series are pretty phenomenal for the most part, like just generally very good.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel, you could say the flip side. I mean, more recently Marvel's live action things haven't always, they've been a little more hit or miss.
Their
But during the
animation's
golden
been getting
age
hit.
of Marvel, like they were making incredible live action motion pictures, whereas their animated things were just not nearly on that same level.
They went very kid friendly with their animation stuff.
Yeah. It's just weird to me. You can have the same IP or the same umbrella company, and just changing whatever media that you're consuming, like, has such a drastic difference in the level of quality of the product, which is just wild to me. I don't know if it's just a change in like the level of focus. Maybe like certain companies just put way more focus in certain areas, which it would make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like put a lot more effort in, like Sony. Maybe they just put a lot more effort into their video games, or just have a lot better foundation for that, which would make sense. I don't know. It's just odd to me. It's just something that I think about. It's like it just. It would be refreshing to
check
see a company that was just consistently high quality across the board. Put the same amount of effort into everything that they did. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
You got me wondering if I was correct on motherfucker. He produced that too.
Huh?
Okay, so it was Lionsgate Films that did
Right.
Borderlands, but AV-A-RAD was involved with it, so anything he touches just turns into shit.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets attached to Legend of Zelda. Let me see if he is.
Anyway,
He's attached to Naruto?
interesting.
Because they are doing a Naruto live action film.
Yeah.
No!
Uh-oh.
He is attached to Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
So it's going to be shit.
Of course. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Not that I really care that much. Like, I'm not really a Nintendo nerd. I've made my thoughts clear on that. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think Nintendo coasts off of its former success based purely in nostalgia. To me, that's like they have they come out I don't really see many like really new things from Nintendo. Like, it's all the same characters and IPs like that we've seen over and over again. And they like, to be fair, they do it well. It's like they definitely know their wheelhouse and they've capitalized on it, and that's great, good for them. Just for me, like they're not really cutting edge with their systems, like their hardware or their software when it comes to their games, and like, while like they do have a certain style, a certain aesthetic that they go with, Mario, Legend of Zelda, like, it's a very kid friendly space when it comes to that style of game. And they do have some good games, obviously the Legend of Zelda games, I've heard lots of great things about them and all that, but like, I don't know. When was the last time you heard of like a Nintendo character, a new Nintendo character that rose to the same level of prominence as all of their old guard?
None, because they died
Right.
really quickly.
Right.
Unless you count Splatoon, but no one really talks about Splatoon.
No, they don't, because it just, while it did see some measured level of success, it just never really rose to the same heights as their flagship games and characters. Mario, Sonic. I mean, not Sonic exactly. I mean, they're kind of related. Mario, Legend of Zelda.
They basically are related.
Metroid. Like, it just, I feel like I see a lot of the same things over and over again from them. Different versions of the same things, but the same things nonetheless.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I just don't see, nothing about Nintendo really holds that much interest for me. Like, I don't hate it, but it doesn't really get me excited either.
Nothing about it gets me excited.
Yeah, gotta be honest with you. Like I said, just a tangent on something that I've harped on before, but, something worth saying once, is occasionally worth saying twice.
Yeah.
Or
Now,
or a bunch of times.
getting into anime, I do have to say this because I got into a conversation with someone on one of our TikTok videos.
Right.
For the Demon Slayer movies, we got wrong information in regards to the trilogy. And this is what they're saying. Apparently, the company who is actually making Demon Slayer is actually working hard to make sure they're released once a year.
Right.
So I just wanted to make that announcement real quick. And the Demon Slayer first Infinity Castle movie is coming out September 12th for the USA.
Okay.
The Chainsaw Man movie release date in Japan is going to be September 19th. So by our time, we might see it December, maybe 2026. Because it's usually a couple months afterwards.
Right.
Which sucks because I really want to see it. This is for people who love anime music or Japanese music. Hatsune Miku is having her own movie. Do you know who that is?
That sounds familiar to me.
She is basically, her voice is AI generated, and she does it basically computer generated, and it's basically just she sings music.
Cool.
I can't really give a good explanation, but she's like a hologram too.
An AI pop star.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she has her own friends and everything. It's a whole thing that Ari knows more about than I do. But she's having her own actual story-based movie called Miku Who Can't Sing. Apparently, it's gotten a lot of good reviews already. But that's coming out in America on April 18th. And me and Ari will be seeing that the 19th when it comes out.
If I wanted to listen to a digital band, I'd listen to the Gorillaz. So
Are they digital?
those characters aren't real.
No, I know that.
It's just two dudes.
Oh, really?
It's just like two dudes like that made this virtual band.
Like your favorite Martian?
Sure.
You never heard of them either?
No.
Have you heard of Ray William Johnson?
Yeah.
That's his band.
I did not know that.
Or his old band.
Okay. I've
Yeah.
heard his name. I don't know much about that. But yeah, no, they're like a virtual band that kind of made it up, and they did a bunch of collabs with other artists and stuff. But yeah, and they came out with a little like a YouTube show or a show that was coming out, like stuff like episodes to see
I
these
didn't know
characters
that.
and stuff. The show part of it wasn't nearly as popular as the band, the music
Yeah.
part of it, but it was pretty cool.
I didn't know that. Also, the One Piece showrunner for the Netflix series.
I did enjoy that show.
One Piece? It was
The
really
live action
good.
One Piece.
Yeah.
I actually really liked it.
Well, here's what I'm hoping. So he's stepping down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
He's stepping away.
You created something they liked. You can't do that. You
Well,
have to leave.
Well, no, he's personally stepping away for his own mental health.
Oh.
But I
don't care
hope
about
that
his mental
means
health. All I care about is what I consume. I am the consumer. Okay, give me
Well,
what I want.
I think they said they finished season 2, so that should be good.
Okay,
But I think I'm hoping what it is that he's going to take a break,
right.
but they're going to find someone who loves One Piece just as much to make sure it's still a good adaptation,
Okay,
and he comes back later on. Or they're just going to take a break so he can breathe.
fair enough.
Because I think the pressure of how good the first season was and making sure season 2 lives up to that, I think that might have just been a lot of pressure on it.
Fair enough.
But the casting announcements have been pretty good on that one too. Then last anime news, Soul Leveling is taking a big break after season 2, so the studio can focus on other anime projects they have already been working on. But someone's tried to start a rumor saying that season 2 is the end of the series and that they're not coming back.
That would suck. I just finished, and I'm really hoping for more.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, I don't know where season 2 ends, but from what I heard, there's absolutely no fucking way 2 seasons was enough to actually cover the series.
Not even close,
Yeah.
dude. Not even close.
Have you
There's
read the
so
manga?
many. No,
But you know the story?
But just like watching the show, I just finished episode 24. You know, there's no way that the show's over. Like, there's no way because
Don't tell me too
there's
much.
so many things that are unanswered right now. Like, they've, you know, I'm not gonna tell you like, but there are certain things that like popped up, and you're like, I haven't even seen any bits like to relate to that thing that I saw a few episodes ago, and we're at the end of the season now. So like, I don't know. There's definitely more to answer. You know. Yeah, definitely more. Definitely more.
Before I get to the reviews, because there's a lot of reviews to talk about. In terms of film, pretty quick stuff.
Right.
Coco 2 was announced. Everyone's wondering why, because Coco ended perfectly. There's no reason for
I
a
don't
sequel.
know why there would need to be a Coco 2. Coco's dead.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mama Coco,
I don't know why I keep thinking...
she died.
I keep thinking Coco 2... Well, they're thinking they're going to change the title once more is revealed. But honestly, who asks... I mean, everyone loves Coco. almost everyone I know loves Coco.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, and
Really good movie.
even someone who actually, you know, he the Escape podcast, they talked about it. He went in full detail on how he felt about it, and I agree with him. There's unless they have a good enough reason to make it, it sounds like they could be just
Money
trying
grab.
to get some sort of money out
It's
of
a
it.
money grab.
It really
It's
is.
a money grab.
And lately, that's what I feel like Disney's really doing. It's just doing money grabs.
Art is dead.
It really is. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that Pixar used to have that saying of, "We're not doing a sequel to a movie unless we know we have a good script." Mm-hmm. And I would say Coco is like Disney plus Pixar, not Pixar fully, but Disney Pixar. Mm-hmm. So, but lately they have not been hitting the mark. Not
No.
at all.
No.
Like Elio, that might be good, but I think it's going to be mid at best.
Yeah.
It's that weird kid gets abducted by a Martian. Coyote versus Acme, the movie may come back officially
Okay.
after the somewhat success. I don't know if it's been doing good in the box office, but the Looney Tunes movie that was just released, apparently that's getting a lot of great reviews, and now they're thinking about re-releasing Coyote versus Acme, which is a Looney Tunes plus live action combination cast like Space Jam,
Right.
where the Coyote is actually suing Acme for all the failed products that he ever used to try and capture the Roadrunner.
That's funny.
And John Cena's in it, and one actor's also in it. But apparently, screen
That's
testing.
really funny.
Well, here's the thing: screen testing was positive for the movie, very positive. People loved it. Like it was one of the most positive receptions that he had. Then they kicked it off like a tax write-off, just like Batgirl.
Man.
So I'm hoping it comes back. The Saw series
Okay.
officially canceled.
Wow.
They, apparently, the producers were fighting, and that caused the new Saw movie to be canceled altogether. And that means the Saw series, as of now, is also officially done.
Wow. Internal issues. It's a killer.
And now, in April, we are going to be experiencing the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie.
Okay.
And to celebrate that, Disney is releasing a documentary called Not Just a Goof, which is the behind-the-scenes feature of how, like, the struggles and all that kind of stuff they had to go through to make a Goofy movie, and how they felt with the resurgence of, like, that pop culture effect that the Goofy movie had.
What is the premise of this third movie?
Huh?
What is the premise?
No, third movie.
Yeah, you said.
No, they're making a documentary.
Was that
film.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were making a movie.
No, they're making a documentary movie based on the making of the original Goofy movie.
Oh, you're saying what the anniversary is coming up or
Yeah.
something, and they're making a documentary in. Okay,
Yeah,
I think
the
I
30th
misunderstood.
anniversary.
The 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I misunderstood. But okay, I can jive with that.
Honestly, I'm excited. I think I would say the document. I don't think they released a release date, but I would say it should be out on April 7th,
Right.
and it's only going to be available on Disney Plus. So, I would say April 7th because that's when the original Goofy movie came out. Now we're on the last bit of stuff. In terms of reviews, I watched Win or Lose, the Disney Plus series. Have you seen any trailers of that? So it's the animated it's like the first Pixar show where it's following a whole bunch of kids, part of a baseball team called the Pickles, and it's following each individual kid and some other characters to show like everything that they went through leading up to the big game. And I was skeptical about watching it, but I started seeing clips. It's a lot more interesting than the trailers actually. It kind of gave me more explanation of why certain things were happening, because it looked kind of stupid. Like the guy who does like the referee, he's for some reason they showed him with blue armor, like he's like some sort of superpower.
Nice.
But it's actually not a superpower. It's a metaphor for him always putting a shield up.
Okay.
So it's like like everything that every kid is dealing with, even some of the adult characters, they treat it as a metaphor for what basically their own inner emotions. Like the first girl, who's actually the daughter of the coach, she sucks at baseball. So, and this is the only episode I'm going to talk about, so that way I don't go into spoilers. But she sucks at baseball. She really wants to get good. She wants to actually feel like she matters to the team. But the entire time, she's trying to say, "Dad, you want to train with me? I think I can actually do this now." And he kind of it kind of shows like kind of gives you the feeling of he doesn't really care that much, but something happens later on that I've seen a little bit. I haven't fully. I'm only missing like the last episode, but regardless, but she has like this because of her anxiety and her overthinking of how bad she is at the game. Her sweat kind of turns into this blob that only she can see and actually hear, and it's talking her inner emotions out. So that thing was kind of adorable and ugly. But eventually, her dad says, you know, what's going on during the big game? Like, just be open with me. So the blob takes over her entire body. She overshadows him,
Right.
and she's like, "Am I good enough?" And he's like, "It's not about being good enough. It's the fact that you're trying and having fun. That's what matters." And that kind of makes her feel better to hear that from her dad, when she feels like her dad didn't really give a shit.
Nice.
So
okay.
she decides to be the player that gets hit by the ball.
Nice.
But there's a lot of different things, like even to put in perspective, you do follow one episode, you follow the daughter of a single mother, and you get this feeling like the mother doesn't give a crap about her daughter either. Like she's focusing on being like a party animal. Next episode follows her mother, and you actually see she actually does give a shit about her daughter. So it's like giving you different perspectives of everything that's going on. And I thought it was a really good concept. So far, the only episode I think was not great was the one that focused on the little kid. Not my favorite episode on that. But I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Just for that one episode of the kid, that kind of ruined it for me. But I liked the concept of what they were doing. Mufasa.
Mufasa.
That was the live action prequel.
Right.
And it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
The music was horrible.
Oh.
Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel?
Yeah, whatever his name is. He needs to
Mr. Miranda?
He needs to stick to Moana. Because his music was...
He needs to stick to musicals.
He needs to just figure out what he needs to fucking do with music. Because his music in this movie, not memorable at all. Actually, there was one that was cringy as shit, and we made fun of it for a while. The song literally has... And the way he says it is, bye-bye.
Oh?
He just keeps saying, I say, bye-bye. He just literally says it like that the entire time, and me and Ari just kept saying that joke to each other. But the song of I Always Wanted a Brother actually was a little catchy. It was actually better than what the commercial showed it, but obviously it's the only song they showed in the trailer, so they knew it was the only good song they had. But it's also a copy and paste of The Land Before Time.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective, and this will involve spoilers because Mufasa's been out since December, and it's going to be coming out on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, and digital in a couple days, actually. But Scar and Mufasa, Littlefoot and Sarah. Sarah loses her parents, who migrate out to the whatever the magical land was that they were going to. But Littlefoot loses his mother. Scar loses his parents. And Scar loses his parents, and Mufasa is thrown away from his parents. So that's already a little similar in that aspect. They both leave to find this mystical land. For them, it's the Pride Lands. And it actually has a different name in this. And doing so, they are chased by a ferocious enemy, the Kimba, the White Lion. That's what I'm going to call him. And the T-Rex.
Sharptooth.
Yeah, Sharptooth. I forgot that's what they called him. Honestly, I'm glad you said that because I wasn't sure if you grew up with the Land Before Time.
I did.
Such a classic.
I did. Absolutely.
But no, in doing so, though, they make 3 new friends.
Right.
Rafiki, whatever his wife's name was, I can't remember. I always think of Nala, but I know it's not Nala.
Sarabi?
Sarabi. I always forget her name. And Zazu.
Okay.
So 3 friends. Where in The Land Before Time, Spike, Ducky, and Petrie.
Petrie.
Where Petrie and Zazu are
lovable
both
little-
flying animals.
Yep, little cowards, probably,
And
too.
while Rafiki is, I would say, intelligent, he also acts very dumb, which is Spike. Ducky being Sarabi. And in doing so, they finally confront the ferocious beast, and they defeat it by dropping a rock on his head, similar to the T-Rex.
That's funny.
and then they find that Land Before Time, the Pride Lands, so which is the same ending as Land Before Time. So, and then Littlefoot gets reunited with his grandparents.
Yeah.
Simba gets reunited with his mother. Scar has no parents, so he doesn't get reunited. So it's like it very is much a copy and paste of the Land Before Time. And I actually made a TikTok about that too.
That's funny.
So
I saw that TikTok.
I thought that was better than the Charlie Con one I did
Very nice.
personally. But I think I'm going to start doing TikTok videos in that same format.
Okay.
Next review is another Disney movie, Snow White.
Oh.
I had the displeasure of watching Snow White yesterday. And
Tell us what you loved about it.
well, I will say this. You know that old saying that people always try to say is, "We're not the audience for this movie. It's made for kids." Have more respect for your kids. Have more respect for your kids and actually choose a movie that's actually well made and actually good for them, instead of something that is a complete mess. It's Kayla actually asked me earlier if the movie is woke. If it was trying to be woke, it did not do a good job at that. It did not do a good job at emulating a female being strong and independent, or being a good leader for her people. Everything about it that was horribly written and not executed well. I thought it was the most cringiest thing I ever seen. I kept looking at Ari, and she had this look on her face like, she told me I was like, "You look tired." And I was like, "No, I was frustrated." The fact that this was Disney's first ever animated film, and they butchered it so fucking badly. I personally never wanted...
Animated?
Huh? The original animated film.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the original was their first... Yes.
Yeah, and she thought it was so...
I thought that was Pinocchio.
No, it was Snow White first. I think Pinocchio might have been afterwards.
Their first animated film or their first Disney princess?
No, animated film.
Okay.
Actually, would it really be? Because I feel like Steamboat Willie was actually it. Or Steamboat Mickey. Or was that even a movie?
Frick. Oh, you're right, yeah. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney's first feature-length animated film.
But she thought because that was the first one, they butchered Snow White so badly. And honestly, like I'm usually very careful about what movies I go see in theaters. And I wanted to see it to experience how bad it was, and I never wanted to walk out of a movie theater so much. Like it was just, and it felt like multiple different films. Like you have the beginning that felt like the original film, and then out of nowhere it turns into an adaptation of the animated film. So it felt like a completely different film altogether. And the songs, like I feel like they never actually recorded the actual songs from the original movie, and they just added it after the reshoots, because I think people are debating now if it was true, if they did reshoots or not, because the 7 bandits that were in the leaked photos that people were saying that was actually replacing the 7 dwarfs are still in the film, and they barely have any screen time, so it feels like they actually did have other scenes and they were just cut out of the film. But the 7 dwarfs were easily the best part of the film. Rachel Zegler was fine. She had a good vocal. That's honestly the best. That was another good part about the film. Gal Gadot tried to sing. And during that singing moment was the only time she ever wore the Evil Queen's outfit from the animated movie. And I felt like I was watching a Disney Channel original movie at that point. She was making all these weird faces while singing and dancing, and I was like, someone fucking kill me. I even said to Ari, I'm like, I feel like I'm being tortured right now. And every time someone sang, it was out of, like, yeah, singing is random in a Disney movie. It felt very random here. And the Disney Prince was just a bandit. And even Jeremy Johns said in a review, you barely even knew the girl. Why are you kissing her like this? Why is it true love?
Right.
I mean, granted, that's how it was in the animated film, but still. You know, they did nothing to really elaborate on that relationship.
Right.
It's honestly, I will never rewatch that film ever again. That was one of the worst films I've ever seen in theaters. The kids loved it, but honestly, like I said, respect your kids more and don't take them to films that are this fucking bad, because they don't deserve that. Honestly, we deserve to have movies that are for kids that adults can also enjoy, because at least they have a message to them. Like Minecraft, apparently early reviews are coming out of that. People are saying it's definitely a movie made for kids, but you know what? It could also be a movie for adults. But you know what? That movie looks
Yeah,
bad
seriously.
anyways.
I mean, that's something that never really had to be the case in the past. Like, it never had to be just for kids. Like, movies were generally made with the idea that kids would be with their parents while watching it, and so there were parts of the film that were tailored for parents to understand, where the kids wouldn't understand. Like,
Yeah.
it would like jokes that would fly over the kid's head, but were directed towards the parents so that they could have an enjoyable time at the film.
Exactly.
And that's something that's been done since the beginning of filmmaking. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's been done since the beginning of time, you know, in books, in stories. Like, it's generally accepted that, yeah, parents will usually be with their kids while they're watching. The kid's not going to show up. Your 6-year-old isn't going to show up to watch Snow White at the movie theater without you.
Right.
They're not going to go up and pay for their own ticket and get a seat and all that, get their popcorn, put the extra butter on. No,
Right.
they're a child. They're going to be with their parent. You know what I mean? So yes, it should be geared towards kids, sure, but the parents are going to be watching it, so
Yeah, and
there's
it was
no reason not to.
yeah, and it was just so poorly made. Like, this is not like, yeah, it was made for kids, but you know what? They should start actually giving a fuck about what the kids are watching.
Well, you should have done what I did. Never watch it in the first place.
I know, but I've heard so many things. I was like, I need to see it for myself. And you know what? You know what? The worst part is too, of how much they fumbled the ball of actually making a strong female lead. They did it better with the Little Mermaid. Like Halle Bailey, she was such a better lead. She actually handled being a strong female lead. She was still the same Ariel, but like the fact that they did better with her characterization to give her more of a strong female presence instead of ruining her character was a lot better.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Piece by Piece, which is a Lego movie for why am I blanking on his name? Pharrell Williams. Thank you. Piece by Piece. Good film, enjoyable. Definitely, even despite the fact it's a Lego film, not really a film to take kids to.
Yeah.
It's not adult, but it really felt like they filmed a documentary before they made the Lego set, the Lego parts. I started thinking about that. I'm like, it was good, but it really did not feel like a movie a kid would really enjoy thoroughly.
Right.
So that's really all I can say about that one. Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've been playing that recently. Given early thoughts, the first Assassin's Creed game I've actually enjoyed in a long time.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah, Naui is easily the best character to play as. She feels like the most as an assassin in terms of you have a lot of different abilities you can use to actually kill people silently. There's actually gameplay features where you can actually make it feel like the original Assassin's Creed, where you don't have to level up to kill, like do a assassination attempt and fail at it. You can actually kill them in one go if you can sneak up on them, which I feel like is a little bit more realistic in that aspect. There's a couple different gameplay mechanics to make it feel like the original Assassin's Creed. Yasuke, honestly, there's so many things I could say about him. He's honestly the most interesting character, I would say. He has a lot of good character moments, especially when the game twists. That's the one thing I didn't expect. And I didn't really play Odyssey. I liked Origins, but the twist they did felt kind of Assassin's Creed 3-ish, with how Haytham Kenway actually turned out to be a Templar and not an assassin.
Yeah.
Not saying that's what the twist is, but I was like, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but I will say I expected him. I was like, okay, they're doing something a little different. I know it's not going to go that way, but I'm okay with that. And then it was like, oh no, it is what you think it is, but it's not. They put something else in there. And I was like, wow, I can't believe they actually did that shit. It made sense, but I was surprised. He's fun just because he's a fucking brute.
Right.
He can barge through doors and like once you get a certain weapon, I use that weapon all the time, which is just like a giant hammer, massacre everybody around.
Dude.
But I do have some choice words about the fact that whenever he's doing something very badass, they have to do Japanese rap. And I'm just like, okay, I know he's black, but do we have to do the Japanese rap on this? Like, come on now.
That's funny.
But story-wise, I think it's good. Gameplay-wise, though, it is like I said, I haven't enjoyed Assassin's Creed game fully like how it was since Syndicate. And Syndicate was the last one I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Origins was a good RPG, but Odyssey, I gave up on that one, and Valhalla I haven't even touched.
I gotcha. Well, it wasn't bad. It just didn't really feel like an Assassin's Creed game.
That's why
it was a decent RPG, kind of the same way you felt about Origins. Like, it was a decent RPG. It just like I wouldn't even really go and assassinating people that much. Like, I was dual wielding like battle axes.
Exactly.
And, like,
and
running
that was
into battle. Like, just it was cool, but like didn't really feel like an Assassin's Creed game.
And also, nothing about the game seemed woke, so people kind of need to stop talking about that either. People called it woke just because you're playing as a black man. Or also complaining that they're saying Yasuke was just a retainer. Honestly, there's not even much information on Yasuke anyway, so...
No, but he was... I mean, and the thing is, Assassin's Creed is loosely based.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's
on
loosely based.
history. Like, and who's to say Yasuke wasn't a samurai? He was a real person in history.
And honestly, if you think about it, it's like the first actual historical figure you're playing as.
Right, and the thing is, there are other things, like other IPs and stuff that depict him as a samurai. I mean, there's an anime about that.
Yeah, there's actually a couple different anime.
Yeah, where the main character is Yasuke.
There's an anime that's not
who is a Ronin. I remember there was one that I watched. He was a Ronin because I think his master had died, so he was like not beholden to anybody.
No, that's the same. That's actually historical. That's historically accurate.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Nobuunga. I'm not going to pronounce his name right because it's kind of a big that one. It was kind of a big name, so I couldn't remember what it was how it was pronounced. But no, that's how it was historically. Is that he died, so he was unmastered. But what it was saying was that he actually traveled back to his homeland. But regardless, I mean, there was also an anime that was actually based on him, but wasn't actually about him. I think it was like Afro Samurai or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But, I
didn't watch that one.
Oh, and the fact that people are complaining that a woman's a ninja when, there was no reason for a woman not to be a ninja in Japan at that time.
Right.
So, yeah, so for me, it's so far like a 9 out of 10. Not going to give a full rating until I officially beat it, but I've been taking my time leveling up, and I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Heck yeah. All right.
And then lastly, one more topic, and then we're going to do some Ireland treats.
Wow.
I'm kind of scared. But have you seen The Last of Us Season 1?
I haven't finished it. That's
really?
The thing. Yeah, I started watching it a while back, and I don't know what happened, but I ended up not finishing it. Not because I didn't like it. I did enjoy it, and I had every intention of finishing it. I think I lost access to the streaming service for a little bit.
Oh.
And then I never went back and watched it when I got HBO Max again. Like, I got a new subscription to HBO Max, my own, and then I just never went back and watched it.
No, because I was going to say, if you wanted to do a review of Last of Us Season 1, because Season 2 is starting, I think, beginning of month.
I'll go ahead and finish it, and then maybe next episode,
okay,
I'll give you a review. I only had like 2 episodes left, like, that I needed to watch. I just never finished the last couple episodes.
I think then you have the last Ellie part and then the finale of the game.
Right.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just need to finish the show. Like, I don't know. I just never finished the last couple episodes for some reason. I don't know why, but
then we won't get into it yet.
Not yet.
But Season 2, I think, is starting early this month.
Okay.
April.
I'll go ahead and finish it, and then we'll talk about it next time. Okay.
And if anything, if Jacqueline's joining us on the next episode, we can talk to her about it if she's seen it.
Jake Quellen.
She's a cosplayer at Charlie's.
Just to say that's my sister's full name too.
Jake Quellen. Does anybody? Do you guys get that reference I just made?
No.
Oh,
Oh, are you talking about the substitute teacher?
thank you, Michael. Thank
Was
you.
that a name that was in that skit?
Jay Quellen? Yes.
I can only remember a certain
Balake, A. Vaughn,
Balonke. You know what's funny?
D. Nice.
You know what? Next time I actually see that girl, I'm gonna call her Balonke.
Balake?
Yeah, I actually know a girl named Bianca.
Oh, no, Blake. Blake was the name. Balake.
Oh, I was thinking of Bianca.
I mean, you could.
Bianca.
Bionicle.
Bionicle. Anyways, the fuck we got here?
Bianca.
Legendary ready salted.
Call her
100
Beyonce.
British potatoes.
British potatoes. That sounds awful.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
you take one bite and you feel like you're British.
I would never take a bite if that were the case. All right. What?
What?
My whole boob was out.
Oh my god.
You.
How long was it like that?
I don't know. I can't see it behind the computer.
Why do you have to make a comment about it on video?
I thought,
Here, let me see.
I thought you guys, I don't know. Sorry.
Not a bad chip.
It tastes.
It's Lay's.
It tastes.
Same brand.
It tastes.
Oh, really?
It's made by
I mean, it looks like
Oh.
Lay's too.
I didn't see that.
It's made by
So Lay's.
Yeah,
Is,
it looks. I was like, nah, that's a pretty good chip. Not a bad chip. They just copied Lay's. Well, they didn't copy Lay's. It's the same company.
yeah. So Lay's is
It's
basically.
owned by Frito Lay.
So it's just called Walkers over there.
Yep.
Huh.
Okay.
Does it taste like Lay's?
It literally does.
Pretty much exactly the same.
So now we got Tato
Potatoes one.
Hunky Dories crinkle cut.
All right.
I'm gonna feel very hunky dory after eating this.
Potato, Ariana cosplayed that in there.
You know,
Dog.
you know what? She was upset about that, but she found it funny afterwards.
All right.
Buffalo. Not bad.
Buffalo.
It's like they're trying to do barbecue without the barbecue sauce.
It kind of kind of like a barbecue chip.
Hunky dory.
Let me try one more.
There is one on
Speaking
here.
of buffalo. So speaking of buffalo,
Yeah.
buffalo, 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 buffalo.
Buffalo. I think I've seen it.
Why
No.
why am I blanking on that reference?
That is a complete grammatically correct sentence.
Cheese and onion.
Yeah, I hated that one. That's the one you had in your work bag.
Really?
Yeah,
You already had this one before.
it was okay.
It's like sour cream and onion, like the Ruffles version.
Oh no.
It's not as good as sour cream and onion, in my opinion.
It is.
Why does it smell like nothing?
Smells like
I don't smell anything.
I smell it. It smells like
I'm scared.
It kind of smells like easy cheese.
I like it. Yeah, it's so bad.
Oil.
That's what they eat all the time there.
The-
That's their like Lay's.
Can you guys hear this?
Oh,
That's the oil.
Okay, that wasn't.
That's the oil.
Yeah. And I don't
That was not a good. That was not a good first taste.
Honestly, it's okay. I've already had them before. They weren't bad.
Yeah, I've known them all.
Why does it smell like feet?
Cheese. It's the cheese.
Oh my god! Did they put their own feet in this shit?
Toe jam. Disgusting.
I don't really taste it there.
Okay.
Now, has he tried this
Last and certainly possibly least,
prawn cocktail? Tastes like fish.
I can already tell this is going to be my least favorite one.
You hate shrimp.
I don't like shrimp.
Really?
Yeah. Not a big fan. All right, here we go.
Oh. Apparently, Erica
Ready?
liked this.
Dink it,
Hold on, I gotta get a big chip.
sink it.
Cheers. Oh no. Alright. Done, baby. Wash it down with a walker.
Yeah, give me a walker. Give me a walker.
Wash it down.
Oh my god!
I don't know what they do there. What is it?
Well,
Oh my god.
yeah, honestly,
Lay's is the best one.
somehow the order in which we tasted these was from the best to the worst.
Somehow you guys
We started at the best one and went to the worst one. I don't know. Honestly, it wasn't a great chip, but I really don't taste the shrimp. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, the salt is what took over. Not salt.
I don't like Tato. I'm gonna say I think his products suck.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm a big fan of Tato's brand.
I think he fucking sucks. Tato.
Oh my god.
Yep, Tato chips. You can stay.
Salt and vinegar. That's
your
what
own
it tastes like.
country.
Actually, it tastes worse than that.
It did not taste like salt and vinegar.
I hate salt and vinegar.
I like salt and vinegar.
I hate salt and vinegar, but that reminded me of that. Oh my god.
Well, all right.
Well, is that it all?
That was a journey, a short and unpleasant one.
just
now-
like their trip.
Yeah, great. It's like my trip.
Ooh, okay.
Last day, I almost got sex traffic.
Well,
Wait, what?
thank you, Dublin.
Are you talking about the shop? Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. Is that all?
Yeah.
That's it.
That aftertaste.
You know, I wish you could experience this with us.
That tastes like you just ate like a very bad vagina.
That was a phrase.
I think on that note,
That was a phrase.
Like fish and chips vagina.
You know, whether whether you wish the show would never end, or if, like me, you want to immediately stop the show and go use the bathroom because you've had to pee for the last 20 minutes, remember, it's not always black and white.